What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. And tonight, as you guys see, I am back at my humble abode, Cleveland. So give yourself a round of applause, fans. Give yourself a round of applause for sticking with us. We missed the show, Cleveland, last week because I was at the Intuit Dome last week. So you feel free to ask me any questions you want to know about the Intuit Dome with the basketball court outside the stadium. It was something that concerned me. There was, I did see you kind of got to walk. Everybody walks kind of one way in, one way out. It's kind of weird like that. You park in the parking garage. You got to take the footbridge across the street to get to the main arena. So everybody, whether you're staff, your media, whether you're employees or fans, you guys essentially take the same entrance into the concourse there. And I saw something pretty interesting, Cleveland. I saw once I actually got into the stadium, got settled down. I walked back outside to kind of get a better feel of the vibe, a better feel of the atmosphere. Because outside, I don't know if you know, but there's a full basketball court outside with the full screen, the length of the court. That I thought the screen would be on. It wasn't at the time, and I was told that it would be on for some various games. Um, but there were people playing basketball right outside, as you might expect it, as intended. There'd be people playing basketball out there on the courts before the games. I did see one guy leave the basketball court, dripping with sweat, and walked into the building. Now I'm a little concerned. The same way, Cleveland, I'm concerned about all the bike lanes that are in the city of Seattle. Um, who's riding their bike to work, Cleveland? Riding their bike 5 miles to work, and you get all work up a good lather, and you got to sit.
I mean,
working there.
That's a lot here in Seattle, so I'm sure
I know that's what I'm saying. They're just it's
not
in Southern
quite
California,
Alabama, but yeah,
Cleveland.
that's the thing here.
Hey, Cleveland, you didn't answer the question. You didn't hear. What's good, Barry? Thanks for tuning in, big guy. Thanks for sticking with us. You didn't answer. You didn't. Maybe you didn't understand my question. When you have these bike and you're expecting people to ride their bikes 5 miles to work, and that 5 miles you don't worked up a good lather, Cleveland. Because I don't know if you. I'm not sure how much of Seattle you've been through, Cleveland, but all of Seattle is not flatland. So you're bound to encounter some hills at some point to have to overexert yourself a little bit, and you're going to build up a little lather.
True.
And then you're going to sit down at your desk for 8 hours with that.
That's why I never quite understood the phenomenon.
With that lather, you're going
to I work with some people, I swear to goodness, Cameron. They said that they biked like 35 minutes into work. And I was like, 35 minutes on a bicycle? Oh my God. By the time you get to work, aren't you just like pitted out? Like,
I mean, come on now. I mean, now I know nowadays they got those electric bikes where, there's little exertion, but blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Nonetheless. So that was a little concerning when I did see the dude come off the basketball court going to the arena, and my immediate thought is, I'm glad I'm not sitting next to him because I don't know, that might ruin the atmosphere if I got to sit next to this guy who was just dripping in sweat a few minutes before he came and sat down next to me. That would bother me a little bit. Nonetheless, the arena was fantastic.
The Intuit Dome.
The Intuit Dome was fantastic. Apparently, they're forcing, as you might imagine, other NBA, other teams around the league, other facilities around the league. I'm not going to mention any names specifically, but the one that is downtown Los Angeles, where the Clippers used to play at, like they're doing some reconstruction of their own. Now all of a sudden they got a new scoreboard. It's not the Halo.
Well, hey, Cam, you know what they won't be doing? they won't be blacking out championship banners and retired numbers.
You sure about that? Because they won't be hanging any banners anytime future in the near future either.
Oh wow! In comparison to how many banners have the Clippers
why are you trying to get me off my rhythm?
I'm not. Get back to your thing. The Intuit Dome was cool. It was interactive and stuff. You could press the buttons from your seat and stuff and see like it was cool, huh?
Again, forcing other venues around the NBA to take note and to make some modifications.
Oh, sure. Because the Intuit Dome is just that cool.
It's just that cool.
No banners.
You got to be there. Check it out.
With no banners. It's no banners.
I don't know what that has to do with anything. It could still be a cool venue.
It still be a cool building, but it just has no banners in it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, nobody asked you for your feedback right now. Nobody asked you for your feedback, and that it feels like you're just taking shots right now at Mr. Ballmer. And we're friends with Mr. Ballmer.
I would never.
We want to make friends with Steve Ballmer. We're not taking shots at Vail.
They don't take shots at Mr. Ballmer.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. You're clowning the work he's done, all the energy, the relationships he's built around the NBA.
I love it.
The West Coast.
And I see the way that you feel about it, having been to the Dome, being to a Dome, like personally, like wow.
But yeah, you're taking shots.
Impressed.
Bummer, that's not me, Bummer. The Voice of the Fans podcast does not subscribe to Cleveland.
All I said was there are no banners hanging in the Intuit Dome.
Steve Ballmer, the Voice of the Fans podcast
is not
in agreement.
Probably not
with Cleveland's statements right now. In fact, I'm going to mute Cleveland for the rest of the show. In fact, I'm getting ready to mute Cleveland right now. I'm muting Cleveland. All right, Steve. That's the control I do have. I can do that right now. Fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is week 314 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. We did miss last week, and I apologize for missing last week. But again, I had a chance to tour the Intuit Dome, and so I'm ready to tell you guys. If you guys got any questions, hit us up in the chat. Tell you guys all about it. But like we do each and every week, fans, we're going to get the show. I owe you guys a new opening. I got content for a new opening. But as you guys might imagine, when you're not at home, it's difficult to get some stuff done. If you're not at wherever you guys do your work from your dining room table, from your kitchen table, from your workshop in the living room, in my studio here where I do the podcast, it's a little difficult to get things done, especially being up in Seattle where it got so much going on, got all this and that to run to, this and here to run to. So I owe you guys a new opening. I'm gonna get you guys a new opening by next week. But for those who haven't seen the opening, here you go.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is Cameron.
Cam Buford. Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
You got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting them.
Best team to fight for this. Somehow we got away from that because guys are trying to protect their record.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
So you are lifting weights currently? No. When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish right now? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me?
Which one? What do you think about these upcoming?
Like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show voice of the
Oh
fan
my goodness!
continues
gracious.
to
I'm in
evolve,
tears.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right? Like you said, Pacific Northwest. So, I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for the whole
Cam, nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
You played against Michael Jordan, and you said LeBron is the best player in the history of the game? Did you guys hear that? Oh, this guy.
Hey, come here. It's okay. It's okay.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
And really appreciate you listening to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Check it out every single week.
You know how we do.
What's good, fans? What's good? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. I wonder if Reggie Miller would be interested in taking his criticism of me back when I threw out that question. Do you expect Trae Young to be as good as Stephen Curry? You see how he jumped on me. I wonder if he would take that back. I deserve an apology from Reggie Miller, and I'm gonna get it sometime this season. Because that was atrocious feedback there. Cleveland, each and every week, man, as you know, we start our show with a numbers game. We have our This Week in History segment towards the middle of the show, and then we end the show with a quote to help motivate and energize and encourage the fans who's watching the show throughout the next week. So until we come back on next Wednesday. Fans, with it being October 30th, 2024, week 314 of the Voice of the Fans podcast, we're going to look at the number 30 and the number 14, Cleveland. So when you think of the number 30, who come to your mind first, or who wore their jersey number the best?
You know, Cam, who comes to mind first is Terrell Davis, just because it's it is one of the introductory speeches that come on the show. Completely
when you called him you called Terrell Davis, do you want to take that back? You called Terrell Davis a scheme running back. What did you call him? What was your word, Cleveland?
I didn't say that, Cam. What I said was Mike Shanahan thinks that his system is so cool that he can plug anyone into his scheme and it will be effective. You twisted around and said that to Terrell Davis, to his face, that my co-host said that you were just a
system running back. That's what you called him.
Running back. I never said that.
How many? Just let me ask you a question. Since you say Mike Shanahan's offense thinks he can just plug and play, Cleveland, how many backs? Your guy Clinton Portis, did he rush for 2,000 yards?
1,800.
Is that 2,000? Is that 2,000?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Did Mike Anderson, who rushed for 1,200 yards?
No.
After did he rush for 2,000?
No.
Oh, so there's something that's different. So that's what Terrell was saying when his eyes lit up and said, "Go watch the tape."
But that's not what I said, Cameron.
No,
it's not. And you keep. I'm not even gonna get mad this time because it's been too long. What I said was Mike Shanahan thinks that his system is so extraordinary that you can plug anyone into that system and they will gain success. However, and I've even heard this from Mark Schlereth, the guard that was on all of those teams with all of those running backs say the same thing that I said, which was, yeah, you can get productivity, but you can't get legendary. You can't get explosiveness. You can't just plug any old running back into that system and make it work. Yeah, they can get rushing yards, but
listen to this guy backpedal.
if you have Clinton Portis in that system, it's like 17 to 1,800 yards. If you have Terrell Davis in that system, could be as much as 2,000. I mean,
back-to-back Super Bowls. And back-to-back Super Bowls. Don't leave
Mike
that.
Peterson will get you 1,200. Some of those other ancillary running backs will get you, 12 to 1,400, but it's not that 1,800 to 2,000. Your system is not that cool, which is what I was trying to say. You twist it all around, threw it in Terrell's face, and, we have to live with it.
He was hot. He wasn't hot at me. He was hot at the assertion that somebody would come out of their mouth and say, stiff some running back. He was hot at that assertion.
No, I thought
you should apologize to him. I think you should apologize today on there to Terrell Davis.
I will not.
For making that claim.
No, I will not.
Well, we got a few apologies that Cleveland needs to hand out, and we see which one of them he's going to actually hand out today. If he's actually going to speak up and take it like a man and hand out his apologies, that there's some players around the country that deserve an apology from Mr. Cleveland Steele. Young Sam, is that what you call yourself?
Young Sam Rossing all the time, yeah.
Yeah, just to get that apology letter ready to go. So yeah, Terrell Davis is the probably the best guy who wore number 30, back-to-back Super Bowls, Redford, Hall of Famer.
No, Steph Curry. Like I said before, Steph Curry is the best person to wear the number 30. It's not Terrell Davis.
You got something against Terrell Davis, or you just want to take shots at him?
Well, I mean, it's just weird that you try to throw Terrell Davis in there. I mean, it was a cool 4 seasons. What do we come up with? 4 or 5 seasons.
See, fam, that's more shots fired at Terrell Davis. I'm gonna let him know. Next time I see him, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna bring him on the show.
He does not have as many championships as Steph Curry. Tell him that.
Okay, when you think of the number 14, outside of Brad Johnson, Dan Fouts, who wore that jersey number the best?
What comes to mind first is that DK Metcalf, because in his absence, the Seahawks looked just so incredibly horrible. Who wore it the best is probably Charlie Hustle, who we just lost a couple of weeks ago, a cat named Pete Rose.
Yeah, tough situation. We got a bunch of storylines in the NFL to talk about this week, Cleveland. Number one being is the Colts bench your guy Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco. After he, I don't know if it was because he tapped out during the game, said he was a little tired, or he just wasn't getting it done. But what a concept! You actually have a backup quarterback, Cleveland, that you can thrust in the game and actually feel more confident in the backup getting some wins than the starting getting some wins. What a concept! What a concept that is. Is that new coaching in the NFL, Cleveland?
That is new coaching in the NFL, Cam, because you never want to turn to your backup and say, "Ooh, you're just as good or better than the starting quarterback." The starting quarterback lost his job by being lazy and not understanding what the responsibilities of a NFL quarterback really, really are, and now he's going to have to sit and observe.
Can OKC go 82-0, Cleveland?
No.
We're going to get back to some NBA conversation, but what are they lacking, Cleveland? I know you have no confidence in what they did, finishing number 2 in the Western Conference last season, but what is the OKC lacking? I know we're talking NFL, but I just want to ask that question real quick. What is OKC lacking, Cleveland?
Heart and intensity.
Heart and intensity. Oh my goodness gracious! Is this the same guy who chastises me when I'm talking about I want somebody to get on the floor, get on the ground?
No. I wasn't talking about
loose
diving
ball.
around on the ground for loose balls and setting really good screens. I was talking about when it comes to the second round of the playoffs, which is where they lost last year.
Like they got blown out, like they got swept in the series or something.
Okay, so in the second round they will face what? Minnesota, Denver, or who else?
They won't face a team as good as them. We'll put it like that in the second round. So we'll come back around. We'll come back around to that one, fans. But just where I'm going with OKC. OKC's in a position.
Fall in love with them, man. Serenade them, send them flowers and stuff.
I mean, they are up 45-26 over the San Antonio Spurs.
The San Antonio Spurs, did they make the playoffs last year?
I mean, they got that dude. I'm not sure. Are you familiar with? Have you heard of that tall guy?
No,
Victor Wembanyama. Have you heard of that guy?
So no, they didn't make the playoffs.
No. The question was, have you heard of Victor Wembanyama?
Draft because they were so bad.
Have you heard of Victor Wembanyama? You haven't heard of Victor? You're the only guy in America who hasn't heard of Victor.
Did you hear anything I just said?
I didn't.
They didn't make the playoffs.
I wasn't listening to you.
Picking the draft.
Have you heard of Victor Wembanyama?
I have.
Okay. So that makes them a force alone. And I mean, if you're familiar with Victor's game, maybe
not really, because they didn't make the playoffs last year, and they had the number 5 pick in the draft, which means they were god awful.
Richardson. So are you okay with Flacco starting, or would you like to see Richardson get some more reps at the start?
177% happy with Flacco starting. You can't just come out and say, man, I ran a long time and I was tired. Take a breath. Does your left tackle ever say, hey, man, I had to block that great big dude for like 47 plays in a row? I'm tired. I got to take a breath. Nobody's.
I mean,
millennials, they don't understand what's going on out here, man. I mean, come on.
Oh wow, that's a wild one on me. I've never seen, let alone, there's a guy named Wally Pipp. Cleveland, explain to the fans who Wally Pipp is.
Wally Pipp was one of those, try hard and can do kind of guys, man. That overachieved.
And then Wally Pipp went down with an injury, took a game off, and then who came in and took his place?
It was Lou Gehrig, right?
Lou Gehrig. So, and Wally Pipp never was a starter again. This is why you don't let other people get reps, because you might not see the field again when you let somebody else come and get some reps. What do you think? You think Tom Brady was eager to let Mr. Garoppolo get some reps in there to show the team what he can do, show his team and Bill Belichick?
Because Tom Brady fully understood that the only reason that he got on the field was because Drew Bledsoe got hurt, a Super Bowl quarterback. So he completely understood the gravity of the situation. Anthony Richardson does not. He thinks that it's everything's on his time, apparently. With all of these grown-ass men like trying to make a living for themselves, trying to make everything, run smoothly for him. And then damn, I was kind of winning on that one play, so I just took that play off. Nobody's ever seen a quarterback do that ever. And you see the ramifications of that, right? You're not starting anymore.
Yeah, sad for him. Anyway, Cleveland, the Ravens get your guy. Earlier, about 4 weeks ago, you wanted nothing to do with your guy, Deontay Johnson. Now all of a sudden, did you go pick him up in free agency? What is him going to the Ravens? Who does that help more, him or the Ravens?
The Ravens lost to the Cleveland Browns 29-24 over the weekend. So I have nothing positive to say about the Ravens other than, maybe, when they play their best game, they can be effective, but they don't know how to win. Clearly.
They don't know how to win. Is that what you said?
They don't.
Ooh. Are you taking shots at the 2-time MVP?
Yes. Not really shots at the MVP because let's be perfectly clear. I was in DC for my birthday weekend, so I actually had a chance to watch Baltimore and Washington games. I've never seen anything more funny than Rashad Bateman dropping a pass that hit him in his face mask and then point up to the sky like it was the sun.
It was the sun. What are you talking about?
Like he needed the flip shades to catch the ball. Like,
Bateman, that's another one of your dudes. Ever
been one of my dudes. Take that back.
Come on. You expected a lot of Bateman when he came into the league. Do I have that wrong?
And then I realized he was not that dude and cut that real short.
So now they have Deontay Johnson. They don't have Odell Beckham anymore. Is he going to catch more passes than Odell Beckham did for them?
No, about the same.
Wow. So this is a non-issue then. This is not a non-fifth rounder. I think Carolina gets a fifth rounder. They Baltimore they swap fourth and fifth rounders. Carolina gets the fifth rounder. Baltimore gets the fourth rounder from Carolina. Carolina feels it's upgrade, addition by subtraction. So what is Deontay? What does he do there? Because they still need receivers, don't they? They have number 4 from Boston College. They have the 2 tight ends, Likely and Andrews. Where does he fit in there?
He fits in, as a great number 2 receiver, man. So what?
Does he take touches away from Derrick Henry?
No, he takes touches away from Rashad Bateman, most likely. Losing the ball in the sun. Yeah,
you can't lose the ball in the sun all of a sudden that you lose your job for that?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a cold one.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson leads the Steelers to an impressive win. Does Justin Fields start again this season?
Only if Russell Wilson gets hurt.
Well, we're going to talk about barring injury in that situation.
Barring injury, no, he's not starting another game.
He does not start another game. Interesting.
Barring injury, yeah.
Yeah. Barring injury. What do you think? Is this what you expected from Russell when he joined your guy Tomlin?
No, way better than I was expecting. I was expecting him to kind of stumble, start, stumble, and kind of, be, the leader and, kind of make the plays, here and there. But, man, sitting 6 weeks, he was,
I was surprised that he sat 6 weeks.
Fresh and chopping at the bit to I kind of want to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. Yeah, he's feeling it.
Jameson Williams gets suspended for performing enhancing substances and is also under review for a warrant for his arrest stemming from a traffic stop. All this after being suspended 4 games for violating the league's gambling policy last season. Does Jameson Williams, how long does he play in the NFL for the Detroit Lions? Or
at least 2 to 3 more years. I think they're messing with him a little bit, man. This is kind of weird. Especially considering how well the Detroit Lions are playing. Just trying to, what are you guys doing? Do you have an ulterior motive here? Usually you kind of let that kind of stuff go or you push it out to February or March of the following year if your team is Super Bowl.
With guns, they just kind of overlook the guns in the car and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, where'd they find the guns at?
In the car that he was riding in.
In the car that he was riding in, were they his guns? I mean, I'm not a lawyer, man.
One was his guns, one was his brother's guns. His brother was driving.
So two things. There are some times when the substance abuse thing is like completely not true. And then there are some things when it's like, okay, well, I took that and I'm sorry. He's trying to act like he didn't take anything and didn't know about it. So I don't know if I'm ready to give Jameson Williams the benefit of the doubt and then all this other gun stuff. I mean, that's just kind of like ancillary after the fact, but
guns, no permit. His brother did have a permit and a concealed weapon permit. But then this is after being suspended for 4 games last season for this gambling policy. I'm maybe Dan Campbell can.
I mean, Cam, you know how this NFL goes, right? If he gets back on the field and scores 2 touchdowns, okay, all is forgotten. If he gets back on the field and only has 35 yards, well, then we got to investigate further.
Oh, we got to do some more investigation. If he can only get 35 yards receiving, we got to do some more investigating. Well, I mean, the whole thing is, Cleveland, is that he hasn't been showing up like that, and I think that's kind of part of the issue.
He's been very hit or miss to this point, and so his career's kind of been the same way, and this is another black mark on his reputation and resume, so to speak.
Yeah, it is. Your guy Stephon Diggs out for the season with a torn ACL. Maybe it's the Houston Texans that needed to go get Deontay Johnson. Because they have a couple receivers down. They're down a couple receivers, and what does it say for CJ Stroud?
I mean, do the best you can. We'll get to the playoffs, and we'll get Ja'Marr Chase next year.
Oh, they get Ja'Marr Chase. That's your plan. They'll get Ja'Marr Chase next year.
That's the plan.
Ooh, I don't know how shaky or how confident fans should be in that plan, but wow, Ja'Marr Chase, huh? I mean, they're still 6-2. They can still get in the playoffs. They might need to make a move.
Yeah, come on.
Maybe they go get Williams.
Can't.
Take him from the Lions.
Go.
Well, I don't know if Houston is a good spot for him.
Can't.
Well, hold on. I missed you. I can't hear you. Did you?
Can you hear me?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, but guy. I don't know what happened. Try to log off and come back on, man. I can't hear you. I don't know what happened.
Can you hear me now?
I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you, sir. I cannot hear you, sir. Go ahead, log off and come back in. I'll wait. Until Cleveland comes back, we're going to talk about Jaden Daniels. Hail Mary beats the Bears. And how impressive was that for you guys to see that Jaden Daniels at Hail Mary gets the job done? And then I'm wondering, any backlash? Does the Bears DB deserve any backlash for his antics talking to the crowd during the Hail Mary? Cleveland, you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh my goodness! I hear you, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know where'd you go?
I can't hear you.
Okay, I got you now.
You got me?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to you. But Jaden Daniels, you said you was out there. Happy birthday, happy belated, by the way. You said you was out there in DC. You got a chance to see Jaden Daniels up close. Did you go to the game, or you just in the atmosphere?
No, I was just in the atmosphere. I mean, everywhere you go, it's kind of Commanders are, now that they're doing their thing, it's kind of a, phenomenon, so to speak. And that game was obviously, off the charts. But what I was saying before was that, CJ Stroud is still going to, do his thing.
Oh, even without his receivers, his number one, Nico Collins going down.
Yeah, and then we were saying that Jamar Chase will be there next year and everything will be great.
And I was moving right along to Jaden Daniels. Hail Mary beats the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Bears DB deserve any backlash for his antics during the Hail Mary? Talking to the crowd while they were, they're 60 yards away. They're 60 yards away, Cleveland. How many quarterbacks can actually throw it 60, 65 yards to get the ball in the end zone? So, he thought he had a little break on his hands. He can go talk to the crowd, talk to the fans, and, give them some of his piece of his mind and all of this going on. Meanwhile, the play. Here come the receivers down the field behind them. He's like, they're running the play. Let me get over here to the goal line and bat the ball in the air so the receiver can catch the ball and they can win the game on a Hail Mary, Cleveland. Does Jaden Daniels get more credit for his throw? Does Noah Brown get more credit for his catch? Or does the DB get all the crap thrown on him for his boneheaded play? Which one is it? Where do you go?
Well, Cam, the DB gets all the crap thrown on him. If it was me, he would have been cut 27 minutes after the play happened.
Oh, he didn't get to ride the plane home?
If it was you, I mean, you would have bankrupted his mama, his daddy, and his 3 unborn children for doing something like that. So you already know how this whole thing goes. Wow. There's no such thing as talking to the crowd and then not knowing that the play is going on and then trying to jump into the play and then facilitating the game-winning touchdown.
That's just a ball of bone, a bungle of errors right there on one person.
I can't be on the team anymore. I mean, who wants to sit next to you and talk about, man, that's all right, dog, and pat you on the shoulder? This is not a missed field goal. This is you yelling at the crowd, talking about how you just won the game, and then turn around and realizing the ball's in the air, and then try and get in position, and then tip the ball in the air to the receiver to have the game-winning touchdown now.
He's done. Hey, Cleveland, we finally found a cuttable reason for Cleveland.
Yeah, this is a common ground. I mean, clearly he's still on the team because no one said he's been cut. But
it's the Bears. It's the Bears. I'm not sure the Bears expect much this season. I know there's a lot of pundits had the Bears going to the Super Bowl. Even Cleveland had them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Having the rookie of the year, hands down, there was no discussion.
This loss will go a long way to determining, if or not they make it. And yeah, if it was up to me, that dude would not have a job.
It was up to you or up to Caleb? Which one was it?
Either. I mean, Caleb was doing more coaching on the sideline than the head coach.
Their head coaches.
I was in DC watching that game from the DC perspective because that was the preeminent game on.
Yeah.
Head coach is a joke.
He is. He's been a joke though, but I mean that's nothing new.
It's only been 2 seasons, but he has to leave like next year.
He has to leave. Cleveland, we saw something interesting in that Pittsburgh Steelers game. George Pickens, he got 2 steps And he caught the ball. He got one step down. The defender hit him, knocked him off balance. He got that same foot, went down twice, and he did not get the second foot down. I think it was the left foot down, the left foot. So he got the left leg or the left foot hit the inbounds twice. Boom, boom. The right foot never came down, and they called it a no catch in the end zone. Right play, or should the 2 steps he took in the end zone count as 2 feet?
No, 2 feet.
I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before where a player gets the left foot, he catches the ball, left foot goes down. He gets hit before he can get the right foot down, and he got hit in a fashion that allowed him to get the left foot down again. So he got 2 steps. He got 2 feet down. It was just the same foot. I think there should be amendment to that rule. Like the knee counts as what your boy Madden says. The knee counts as 2 buttocks, and 1 buttocks counts as a foot. Like, I think Cleveland, help me out. I think there should be an amendment to that rule, because the rule is you want to get 2 feet down, your left and your right foot, right? For official catch inbounds. Well, he catches the ball. There's no dispute about the catch. He got the left foot down, got hit, was able to get the left foot down again. That was 2 steps that he got before he got the 2 feet. I think that should have been a catch. Do you know? Are you familiar with the play that I'm talking about?
I am 100% familiar with the play, and no, the left and the right. Left and the right, man. Can't tap it 1 foot down 2 times, like real quick. Like,
but that doesn't happen, though. That's not like you can't do that on the road. I agree with it.
How often could it happen if that was the rule? That's the whole reason that's the rule. 2 feet. Left and the right.
I understand the rule. But in this unique situation where the defender hits you and you're unable to get that second foot down, you got 2 steps in the end zone.
That's part of the play. The left and the right.
I thought that should have been a touchdown, fans. Fans, what do you guys think? I thought that should have been a touchdown. I'm not a Steeler fan, not a Jordan fan.
On your fantasy football team? Is that why you're like complaining?
No, I didn't have Pickens. I didn't have Pickens or Russell on my fantasy football squad. I just thought when it happened, I saw it happen, and I questioned. Where was I? I was not able to. Couldn't hear the sound in the game. Where was I? I was at a bar. Couldn't hear the sound in the game, but I saw it happen. And I'm like, he got 2 steps in.
You got the same foot down 2 times. Yeah, that's not left and the right.
I'm kind of thinking that should have been a touchdown, though. I'm kind of thinking because if not for the defender knocking him off balance,
how can you catch the ball and just tap your 1 foot down 2 times right quick?
But again, you can't do that. You couldn't do that standing up, Cleveland. Walking out of the bathroom, get 2. Huh?
Watch. If you change the rules, just catch the ball and just tap 1 foot down 2 times.
Cleveland, you're not able. That's not something you could easily do.
Way easier than putting 2 feet down your left and your right.
I disagree with that one. I disagree with that
one.
I
disagree with you.
Well, what's new? What's new?
You tap your foot 2 times as opposed to getting 2 feet down.
Cleveland, if you're without getting hit by a defender, it's much easier to catch the ball and get 2 feet down. But he got 1 foot down, got hit, and the way he was hit, he was able to get he was able to get the same foot down again. Like, that doesn't happen. That's difficult to do. That's pretty difficult to do. It's much more difficult than getting 2 feet down to get the same foot down twice. Like, because that's one motion. If you're trying to, that's 2 motions that you're trying to do. Whether you're getting 2 feet down is like one motion. That's the way the receivers are today. I mean, they're practicing to getting 2 feet down. You're not ever practicing getting the same foot down twice. You don't ever practice But it was just a confluence of circumstances. I thought I'd ask that question. I kind of think that that should have been a touchdown. But hey, what the heck? The Jets put Greg the Leg on IR. What's up with your Jets? Now you guys are blaming everything on Greg the Leg.
Greg the Leg has cost gamblers hundreds of millions of dollars in the last 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm glad to see him put out to pasture. Real talk.
Oh, this is done. This is not. We're cutting you. This is just go home, spend some time with the wifey and the kids.
Man, I hope Tony Soprano picks him up in the SUV and says let's go out to Jersey and talk for a minute.
Oh, whoa, that's a cold one. That's a cold one. You're trying to send him out for the for what, the concrete boots? Is that what you're trying to size them up for?
Yeah, I hope him and Silvio and Christopher have a talk with it, man, in the woods.
That's cold. You want to talk about me? That's cold, buddy. That's a cold shot right there. Cleveland, what's your midseason takeaways, man? Before we get into our picks, what's your midseason takeaways? What is going as expected, or maybe not so as expected? And reason I ask you this, I got 3 takeaways. The Dolphins stink. I told you guys, fans, if you guys those of you who pay attention to the show and watch the show from the beginning of the season, I told you the Miami Dolphins would not make the playoffs. I didn't count on Tua being out for 4 games, but what's new? He goes out for 4 games. The Miami Dolphins stink. I told you guys, Mike McDaniel. I need to see something. I need to see something. I haven't seen anything from Mike McDaniel since they put 70 on the Broncos last season. Okay, it's been going backwards since then for Mike McDaniel. Getting to the playoffs, you can't score against the Kansas City Chiefs. Some people, Cleveland's the first thing he's going to bring up is the weather, but the Chiefs were playing in the same weather too. But that guy over there, number 15 in the red, he seemed to be able to maneuver just fine. So I'm not buying it. Okay? Our starting quarterback goes out. You have been the coach now for 3 seasons. The guy you picked and you slotted as your backup quarterback stinks. You had to go out and find somebody else to take his place. The guy you found wasn't much better and actually got hurt again. We ended up seeing Skylar Thompson right back in the game. But Mike McDaniel, you've had 3 seasons to work on this guy. You've had 3 seasons to coach him up. Mike McDaniel, you had 3 seasons to figure out what works best for this quarterback. And nothing. Without Tua, we go 1-3. Mike McDaniels, you're on the clock. I said that after week 2. Oh, you lose your number 1 quarterback. You can't expect the team to do anything. Why not? Cleveland is making moves with their backup quarterback. The Colts won games with their backup quarterback. Jameson Winston from right here in Alabama is winning games as a backup quarterback. Why can't I expect my coach to coach somebody up so they can win a game with the backup quarterback? That's not too much to ask for. I don't think that's too much to ask for. And I've talked ad nauseum already this season about the job that Kevin O'Connell's doing with Sam Darnold, who he picked up off the scrap heap and winning games. That's not too much to ask for. The Dolphins stink, Cleveland, and I told you they would not make the playoffs before the season started. Did I or did I not?
They did. But can I be a revisionist of history real quick?
Oh, my goodness. What do you got?
If I may, the Indianapolis Colts lost Peyton Manning to a neck injury. And the following season, they were so bad that they had the number 1 pick in the draft, and they were able to draft who, Cameron?
Ooh, they drafted a quarterback. They drafted a bad mother right there.
Okay. So they never had a situation where they had to like turn to like someone other than Peyton Manning running the offense, other than Andrew Luck, because they went through the entire season, and I believe they lost like 14 or 15 games. So no one ever said to Tony Dungy like, "Hey man," or Caldwell like, "Hey man, why can't you run this offense with just anybody?" Well, if you give us the Andrew Luck, we'll be okay. Oh, okay, cool. Whoever told you McDaniel was going to be able to run that offense without Tua?
Cleveland.
How many championships has Phil Jackson won without Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant as his two guard?
So you're calling Tua Tagovailoa? You're comparing Tua Tagovailoa to Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant? Is that what you're doing right now?
I'm saying you can't be surprised they're 2-6 without like one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Throwing the football.
Okay, Cleo. Okay, here you go. So this is what you want. This is what I don't understand where you were going, but I think this is what you wanted me to say. Tua's our quarterback. In the words of Terrell Owens, that's my quarterback. But we know the quarterback is fragile, Cleveland. Is this any news? Is it any news that this guy is fragile coming out of college?
But Cameron, you can't go out and get Joe Burrow to back up you can't go out and get Dak Prescott to back up Tua Tagovailoa.
See, this is Cleveland. This is what you're.
Go out and get CJ.
I know you don't believe in coaching. I know you don't believe in coaching, so it's tough for me to have this conversation with you because you disregard any coaching that goes on any team.
No, Cameron, because
yes, it does. Coaching, Cleveland. Cleveland, let me explain something. Let me
explain something to you, Cameron. You always think that your coaching can just wash away anyone's flaws or shortcomings, and that's just not true. It's not true.
Are you ready, Cleveland? Coaching is taking your players, whether it's Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, or if it's Scotty Barnes, taking your players and put them in the optimum position to get the most out of their skills.
But Cameron, if your coach is not, if that's not what your coach does, then you're asking too much of your coach.
This is exactly my point. And my coach can't take 44
Cameron,
men.
Bill Jackson is not taking Scotty Barnes to 11 championships. Coach McDaniel is not taking Skylar Thompson and Morgan Freeman and whoever else you said to the playoffs.
What I want my coach to do is maximize the skill set of the players on the team.
Better, just not good enough.
What?
I said he might make them better, just not good enough. He's not going to turn. You expect this coach to turn anybody into Tua? You got that Shanahan. You get those Shanahan blinders on. Like just run my system.
Shanahan blinders.
Just run my system.
I want a coach.
Just do it like I told you to do it.
I want a coach to maximize the talent on the team. When Tua goes down,
what if he's done that? What if he's maximized the talent on the team? The talent at the quarterback position is not good.
I think we scored 30 points, Cleveland, in the last 3 weeks. That's not maximizing anything. If that's all I can get from the coach is 30 points.
I think Spencer Rattler scored like 10, and 8 points in the games that he started. Something like that. Now, is that the coach's fault? That he can't make all the throws? He can't run my offense?
It's the coach's fault for not developing.
I'm supposed to coach you up so that you're capable of running my offense, even though you're not physically capable of doing that.
Cleveland, they scored 27 points in week. Hold on, this ain't even the Dolphins. They scored 13 13 plus 12 is 25 points in 3 weeks, Cleveland. 25 points in 3 weeks. That's not offensive guru who we were sold. I was sold that he was an offensive genius. That's not offensive genius to me.
I know, because you're expecting anybody to just plug and play. And that's not what the league
Cleveland, 10 points against the Buffalo Bills, 3 points against the Seattle Seahawks, 12 points against the Tennessee Titans.
The Seahawks was game, what, 2 or 3 of the season? And
that's what I'm saying. This is my point.
That was the first game without Tua. Come on, man. Cut that out.
Okay, Cleveland, you say the first game without Tua, we get blown out by Buffalo. That's when he went out. That's when he went out, actually, against Buffalo Bills. We scored 10 points that game. Okay, we have 10 days to get ready for the Seattle Seahawks to travel to the Northwest, and we scored 3 points.
You're putting far too much on the coach with a quarterback that is not a starting quarterback.
Cleveland, far too much on the coach. You don't even believe in coaching, so I'm not taking that from you. I'm taking that. I'm listening to. He is not that. He is not that.
You know what, Cameron? You're right. Without a premier quarterback, his offense is not successful.
No, he's not. He's not a successful coach. If you can't. If the offense only works with two,
you can't coach up Skylar Thompson to a playoff appearance, then you're not worth your salt.
No, he had Skylar Thompson 2 years ago. He lost to the Buffalo Bills. So in Skylar Thompson in that game, it was a shootout, 37 to 34. I believe it was.
The whole team has been built around Tua and Tyreek. You know this. There's no Tua, so yeah, there's no Tyreek. Team sucks without Tua. You see it.
It does. I have to say
now you want to blame the coach. Now you want to blame the coach because now you see the team sucks without Tua.
You gotta come up with some scheme, bro. What am I paying you to do?
I know.
You gotta come up with some scheme to get Tyreek Hill.
Did you blame the coach in Indianapolis when they didn't have Peyton? No. Because you saw how good they looked with Andrew Luck.
He's trying to bring some other mix into the game. Tua's not Peyton Manning. Okay? Tua's not Peyton Manning.
But he's the quarterback.
Tua is not Peyton Manning, so you cannot compare the two.
Runs McDaniel's offense.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Did I tell you at the beginning of the season? I would entertain a Tyreek Hill from Brandon Ayuk? And you laughed at me. I told you that week 2 of the preseason. I told you I'd be calling up San Francisco to see if I can make them move. Okay, this is not sustainable. I wrote an article about this already earlier before the season even started. You can't pay your quarterback max money and then pay your wide receiver max money. That is not going to work. That's why Dallas doesn't have a running back. That's why Dallas doesn't have a defense.
I'm so sorry. How do we get into all these other subjects? We were talking about Tua Tagovailoa.
I'm still talking about Tua. The paying your quarterback and receiver max money does not work. One of those guys, the team right now, Cleveland, is not going to make the playoffs, first and foremost. And then I believe that's
because Tua's missed 5 games.
Okay, whatever the reason, whatever you want to call the reason, Cleveland. I told you they weren't making the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Okay, but that was before you knew Tua was going to miss 5 games.
I told you they were going to miss the playoffs before the season started. So you can justify it however you want to justify it. But right now they are 2-5. Right now they're 2-5. They lost to the Arizona Cardinals with Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, things fell apart.
It's 20-27. They scored 27 points. You gonna blame that on Tua?
No, I'm blaming this on coaching. If you keep this,
you know what, Cam? For as much as you talk about coaching, you'll turn on a coach in the New York second, man.
No,
I've seen this pattern.
You've seen this pattern? What are you talking about?
Can we revisit that coach over there in Charger land? That was what do you say, Cam?
In over his head?
rebuilding the culture.
Oh,
he loved that dude. Oh my God.
Here you go.
What was
and
his
I
name?
told you, I explained. I had to jump off the bandwagon when he couldn't figure out how to use the defensive coordinator. Couldn't figure out how to use Derwin James. Cameron,
what was his name again?
I don't know what you're talking about. But a few years ago, when that guy
building the culture, not so much. Mike McDaniels. Oh man, you're just crucifying this dude for not being able to win without a top 5 quarterback. You should be able to win with whoever's behind center.
Cleveland, we lost.
No, that's not how the NFL
we lost 24-3 to the Seattle Seahawks.
Quarterback-driven league. So why are you?
We lost 31-12 to the Tennessee Titans.
Why are you beating up a coach that can't win without a top 5 quarterback? Most coaches can't do that.
So it's twofold. And if you let me get through it, I'll explain to you very clearly, to you and the fans, Cleveland. It's derelict duty for the Miami Dolphins, and this is not Mike McDaniel's fault.
Nonsense, man.
This is not Mike. This is not
all the rosters across the league. Look at all the rosters across the league.
Cleveland, I'm gonna mute you so I can get. I'm gonna mute you so I can get my point. You're muted. You're muted, sir. You're muted so I can get my point across. It is a dereliction of duty for Chris Grier, the GM of the Miami Dolphins, not to have an adequate backup or the adequate backup quarterback behind Tua Tagovailoa, the poster child for concussions and injuries in the NFL. If you don't have a backup quarterback, an adequate backup quarterback for this guy, that's a dereliction of duty. That's not all on Mike McDaniel. But Mike McDaniel, I need you to tell me which quarterback around the league can work with this offense. They decided to keep Skylar Thompson, who again, when Mike McDaniel took over, Skylar Thompson did play in the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills. I expect that Skylar Thompson to get better over 2 years. He hasn't got any better over 2 years. I'm blaming that on the head coach. I'm blaming that specifically on the head coach. It is a dereliction of duty for them not to have an adequate backup. That's more GM cause. But I do need Mike McDaniel to step up and coach somebody. You can't lose to the Seattle Seahawks with a rookie head coach and a quarterback you just learned the quarterback's name this season. He's been quarterbacking there, I think, like 3 or 4 years. You just learned the quarterback's name this season. Before that, you didn't know who the quarterback was. You thought it was some number 7 guy. You just learned the quarterback's name this season, and you lose 24-3 to them guys. You go around to Tennessee a week later, lose 31-12. Come on, man. What are we gonna do? Tua goes there. Tua gets a runny nose, and you can't coach. Come on, man. That's shame on Mike. Shame on the Dolphin front office for not having a backup quarterback, and shame on Mike McDaniels and all of his family members like Cleveland saying, "Oh, you didn't have Tua. It's okay. We expect you to win." You should expect not to have Tua some games. Tua's not going to play 17. He did it one time in his career. One time in 4 years, he played 17 games. So how can you expect to have him for 17 games every season? He's done it once out of 4 years. You can't. That means we have to have some backup in place to play without him. But no, the Dolphins stink. That was one of my takeaways for the season. Another one of Cleveland I have is the Commanders. They're surprising the whole league. Now I thought I drafted Jaden Daniels in fantasy football, and wisely I traded him in between week 1 and 2. And Jaden Daniels is going off. He's continuing his pace. And he beat the fan favorite for Rookie of the Year last week, even though it was on, kind of a questionable situation. He did beat the fan favorite last week. Is Jaden Daniels surprising you, Cleveland? Is that a matter of coaching or just over talented overly talented quarterback they have in Washington.
Yes, he is surprising me. Am I going to put all of it on the coaching that he's been coached up? No.
So you giving him credit for being a phenomenal player.
Yeah, he's proven to be a phenomenal player in the NFL, no doubt.
Well, we'll see if that continues. Are you ready? Should we just be sizing the Chiefs up for another ring right now? Are you ready to say that?
No, not just yet.
You're still not ready to say the Chiefs are going to three-peat.
No, not yet. No.
With the record of 7-0, you think there's somebody out there that's going to bump them off?
Between now and winning the Super Bowl, yes.
So they will lose a game. They will lose a game.
They will not undefeated. Is that your question?
No. Well, the Chiefs just keep winning. Now, undefeated is not my concern. I predicted them to win the Super Bowl. I predicted them to go win their three-peat.
Okay.
Do you see anybody? Do you think Baltimore, your guy Lamar Jackson and Mr. Super Derrick Henry? Do you think and that defense? Do you think they can beat the Chiefs?
Didn't like the way they took care, or rather, I should say, did not take care of business in Cleveland. So yeah, I don't like that one.
Put it out there. Put it out there in the air. If you don't think the Chiefs, and I'm not going to say I think they'll go undefeated. I'm not thinking that. I got the Chiefs winning a three-peat. Whether they lose 2 or 3 games, whatever it is, I got them winning the Super Bowl again. But let me know who you think can upset the Chiefs.
It's too early to say. It's halfway through the season. I'll let you know at season's end.
I mean, you're going to let me know when they lose. They got Tampa, Denver, Buffalo. Can Buffalo beat them November 17? They're at Buffalo. They got Carolina, the Raiders. They got the Chargers, the Cleveland, Houston, Texas, December 21. Pittsburgh, Denver. Like Pittsburgh, Houston. I'll say the Chargers.
I don't believe they will. Cameron, here's what I will say. I don't believe they will go undefeated throughout the season, but I will readdress this question after the season's over and we see what playoff seeding looks like.
So after they lose to Houston, you're going to say, "Oh, I told you. I told you they're not going to go undefeated." Is that what you're going to do after they lose to Houston December 21?
No.
In another month?
No, I'm not. You're not listening to me.
I heard exactly what you said.
What did I say then?
You don't have them going undefeated, and I'm asking you, I'm asking you to go out on a limb and give me a team.
10 games, I think they will lose a game. Who that is, I can't say exactly who, and I can't say exactly when, but yeah, I think they will lose a game.
They play Buffalo on November 17th.
Okay,
that's a potential L.
That's possible.
They play the Chargers at the Chargers. No, they play at LA already. They play the Chargers at home December 8th. That's a division rival, potential loss there. They play Houston December 21st. That's only three games. I don't want to say they're going to lose to Russell and Pittsburgh, but that's only 3 games.
Russell and Pittsburgh, Denver twice. So that sounds like 5 games they could potentially lose.
They're not losing. They're not. They're not losing to the Broncos. No, there's Buffalo, the Chargers, Houston, and Pittsburgh.
When's that at Denver game?
They play at Denver January 5th, the last week of the year.
Oh, okay. It's awfully late out there in Denver. Just saying.
You think they're worried about Kansas City is worried about some snow flurries from Denver? That's what you think?
Man, it's awfully late out there in Denver.
Man, come on. Cut it. I mean, I just think there's 4 potential losses here. Pittsburgh, potentially Houston, the Chargers, only because that's a division rival, and Buffalo in 2 weeks. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games left. Those are only 4 times I think 4 potential losses I could see the Chiefs having. But that's neither here nor there. I got the Chiefs repeating. What's your midseason takeaways, Cleveland? Oh, I'll throw in Derrick Henry. Being in the conversation for breaking Eric Dickerson's record. I don't think he's going to get it, but I'll put that as a kind of a midseason surprise. Derrick Henry play. What's your takeaway from earlier in the season?
My takeaway is how dysfunctional the New York Jets have been. It's quite a tragedy.
Some people expected this. So.
Sure. The ability for Jaden Daniels to kind of be atop of the NFC East as a rookie quarterback, that's been a huge takeaway. The way the Detroit Lions have kind of been taking care of business in a real professional kind of manner, just kind of dismissing a lot of teams that are pretty good. And first game outside this next weekend, we'll see how they do.
So, are you surprised by the Detroit Lions playing this solidly?
Oh, for sure. The last 3 games, they've just been like a machine. That's. I wasn't expecting that. Not at all.
Think they were going to fall off? Why did you think they were going to fall off? Like, they got Goff, who's a good quarterback. They got a talented receiving crew.
I think they were going to fall off because I didn't think they could replicate the success that they had last year. I thought they had a much more favorable schedule last year than they had this year. And in addition, after they lost Aiden, I didn't think they would be able to continue the pass rush that they had previously. So, yeah, I expected a little bit of a fall off, but they have not to this point. They've been mauling people, but again, not a lot of teams with, really impressive records. So something that will be quite interesting.
I'm just gonna look back, fans, and I'm gonna show you guys this. Show you guys all what I'm coming through. Who'd you pick to win the division, Cleveland?
I may have picked the Lions. I thought the Bears were going to make the playoffs, ultimately get to the Super Bowl. We'll see what that still remains to be seen. But,
This is our predictions, fans, from earlier this season. Can you see it? Can you see it more? This is our predictions from before the season started. And Cleveland, I'm looking at you had the Lions winning their division.
I did.
Why are you surprised then?
I'm surprised in the manner in which they've been taking care of business, which is what I said earlier, if you were listening.
Okay. Well, actually, had the Packers winning that division, and I think they're playing this weekend, aren't they? Aren't the Packers and the Lions playing this weekend? So I got Jordan Love going. I got Jordan Love winning this game. Yeah, I got Jordan Love winning this game. Just in case you wanted to know. All right, Cleveland. So let's take a look at our picks. This is from last week, fans. I know we weren't on the show last week, but here's our picks that we made last week. Minnesota losing to the Rams. That was a surprise, obviously, to both of us. Philadelphia beating Cincinnati. I have Philly. Baltimore losing to the Browns. Another surprise to both of us. We both had Detroit beating the Titans. Miami Dolphins losing to the Cardinals. That shit, somebody's head needs to roll after that one. I mean, somebody's head needs to roll. 1 point, 18 points. I mean, come on, guys. The New York Jets. Actually, this is the first time all season long I took the Jets and they stink it up again. They stunk it up again to the New England Patriots of all teams. I had Tampa Bay, Baker, going to Tampa, pulling that game out. What did you see in the Falcons to pick the Falcons to win that game?
I saw the Buccaneers without their 2 top receivers and didn't think Baker Mayfield could be productive in that environment.
We both had Green Bay. We agree on everything else. I had Washington over Chicago Bears.
Just scroll up a tad bit so the fans can see the screen.
Yeah, I had Washington over Chicago Bears. You can see all that.
Yes.
Everything else we agreed on. That was the only last game that we did not agree on. For our picks against the spread, Cleveland. Here we go. Here I had Miami lost that one clearly.
Oh wow! How did I get 0 points for that? I should have 2 points for the spread.
I didn't enter the points, my man. So you gotta go in there and give yourself.
I will fix that for sure. Yeah.
And then here's our picks. Here's our confidence picks there. Again, I have Baltimore. Damn, Lamar Jackson. Cost me another perfect week here. Lamar.
As did I. Cost me another perfect week.
Well, I don't know if another perfect week goes in your category.
Yeah, I've had a perfect week just like you, just that one time. So yeah, before you get too, over your skis there for a minute.
Yeah, I think I had a couple great weeks, but nonetheless. Here's our picks for this week, fans. I have Dallas going to Atlanta to upset the Falcons. You obviously had the Falcons. Why do you think the Falcons can? Are you that confident in Kirk Cousins?
No, just reestablishing the running game, which Dallas has a difficulty stopping. So once you get that, and once the Cowboys are behind, they tend to throw a lot, and they only throw to one receiver. So,
all right, well, we'll see what's going to happen. I got Dallas upset, shocking the world in this one. We both agree Buffalo over the Dolphins, Cincinnati over the Raiders, the Chargers over the Browns, New England over the Titans, Washington over the Giants, New Orleans over the Panthers. So that's going to be an ugly game. You got the Broncos beating the Ravens. Is this? I mean, just because you're disdain for Harbaugh, you're disdain for the MVP. How do you have Denver?
The way the Ravens play with their food, they lose games that are ridiculous for no apparent reason, like losing to the Cleveland Browns with Jameis Winston at quarterback. It's like this team is better than you think. The defense is better than you think. The running game is better than you think, and they just play with their food.
So you don't think they learned from last week? They can come in with a fresh, a fresh plate from.
I'm betting against it.
Okay, all right. I got Baltimore winning that game. I got Philly, Chicago, and the Cardinals. Now, you got two of your favorite guys here playing.
No, just one. Kyler's not a favorite of mine.
But you're choosing Kyler over Caleb. What gives?
It's at home.
Oh, that whole East Coast traveling to the West, huh?
It's not that far, but I didn't like the way Chicago lost that game to the Commanders. It was ridiculous. So
you see that carry over into this week. You got the Rams. You got the Rams over the Hawks is 4-4. The Hawks has lost what? Is it 3 or 4 straight? They lost
3 of their last 4. They beat Atlanta the week before losing.
Okay, 3 of the last 4. And you got the Rams coming to town to bust their butt again, huh? What you thinking? Is that because you see Aaron Donald coming to town, or what? What's the reason?
No, I just don't see the defense being very cohesive, and the offensive line is still a work in progress. So, 32 yards rushing last week. I'm not ready to blame the offensive coordinator. I think this is more on the offensive line, but still and yet. Yeah, that's a problem.
Oh, the Grub offense is you're not excited about this all of a sudden?
No, I'm still very excited about the Grub offense. Just his ability to execute it, given the personnel that he has been somewhat of a problem.
Explain to the fans why you have Indianapolis beating Minnesota Vikings.
Joe Flacco.
Oh, so there's value in having a backup quarterback. A veteran backup quarterback is what you're saying now. Is that what I'm getting? There's value in it.
Certainly, if you have an immature quarterback that thinks he can just take a break because he's tired, yeah.
And you don't have Baker going to Kansas City to win this game, so you got Kansas City going 8-0.
True.
Picks against the spread. I got Dallas. I think Dallas is going to beat Atlanta. I got New England. I got New England beating Tennessee, and I got the Green Bay Packers beating. I'm not even going to call it an upset, but I got them beating the Detroit Lions. I just showed you guys where I had Green Bay winning this division earlier this year, and I don't see anything. Although the Lions are who the Lions I expected. The Lions I expected the Lions to be good. I just think Green Bay is a better team, and I expect them to show as much on Sunday.
Cameron, hold on 1 sec. I'll be right back. So sorry.
Cleveland has Washington. Washington over who is Washington playing? Over the Giants. Easy pick. He has the Chargers. He has the Chargers winning their game over the Browns. Another easy pick. And the Rams. I'm surprised he's going totally against the Seahawks. Got the Rams, taking the Rams over the Seahawks. So there's his picks against the spread. Confidence picks is we have 5 picks. We graded and weighted each pick 1 through 5. So KC, I have full confidence in them. A little less confidence in Philadelphia. A little less confidence in Buffalo. A little less confidence in Washington and New Orleans to get the job done. So that's how we break down those picks. Obviously, at the end of the week, we get a score, and that score adds up. So right now, I am this isn't totally accurate because it's taking account of this week's here. So I have 0 points, obviously, this week. But it's showing me I have 62% of my picks are correct. Cleveland's not far behind.
My apologies, sir. Yes. We basically have all of the same games adverse. The
Chargers. I don't have the Chargers, and I got Buffalo. I don't have Philly. All right, I do have Philly.
Yeah, so it's just the Chargers.
Yeah, just the Chargers.
There's New Orleans at the 1 spot. We have the 2 through 5 just in different orders. So yeah. I see you've been copying off my homework again.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I know, because I am, been successful.
I mean, I'm not sure.
You're
not winning. You're not winning. So
I know you're 3 picks ahead of me. That's cool.
Yeah.
One game.
You're not winning the category. So what are you talking about?
I will be after next week. It'll be cool.
Well, I'm not so sure. Keep your hopes up. But that's week 9 in the NFL, fans. Those are our picks there. I showed you guys our picks from. Beginning of the season. Cleveland, with it being halfway through the season, who's your MVP thus far in the season?
The MVP of the league thus far has to be Josh Allen.
The MVP of the league. Now, see, so this is where it's unfair because it is midway through the season. You want to see how these teams position themselves for the up and coming playoffs. But I think the MVP midway through the year. I mean, it's between a few different players. Again, it is midway through the year, so it's only half the season that's played. But Derrick Henry got to be in that conversation for what he's doing in Baltimore. Jaden Daniels has to be in that conversation for the turnaround he's guided Washington to. And then, I mean, if I'm having to give away an MVP in week 9 of the season, it's got to go to Patrick Mahomes, who's the only quarterback in the only undefeated team in the league. Even though he hasn't played, he's played better in previous years. he's still undefeated to this point in the year. So yeah, I think that would be my MVP. The coach of the year. I mean, do you give it to your guy, the former Seahawks coach and the former Dallas defensive line coach for what he's done with the turnaround of the, let's say, the Skins, but the Commanders? I mean, he has them playing. If what you call it didn't lose last week, if they didn't have that piss poor loss, who did they lose to? Let me see real quick. If they didn't lose to the Colts. Or no, that's this week coming up. Who Minnesota lose to last week? I had Minnesota winning that game.
Lost to the Rams.
If they didn't lose to the Rams, I'd go Kevin O'Connell as coach of the year for what he's doing with that reclamation project that you call Sam Darnold.
Okay, well, halfway through the season, I mean, it's either Coach Reid or Coach Tomlin.
How does Tomlin get coach of the year vote?
Leading his division, 6-2, the second best record in the AFC, and has managed to juggle these two quarterbacks very seamlessly.
At least fans, at least he gave me a pick. I just can't be too upset with that. At least he did give a pick. I don't agree with the pick, but at least he did give us a pick. Right. I'll take that. We're a couple weeks into the NBA season. More like a week. More like a week into it. More like a week into it.
20 games into it. 4 games.
More like a week into it.
Yeah. So
but the Sixers are fined $100K for Joel Embiid for his statements on his health condition. And for what it's worth, Joel Embiid and Paul George still have yet to play this season. I think they missed 3 games. Fair to find the Sixers for Joel saying he's not going to play. He probably won't play back to back the rest of his career. Is that fair for the league to find the Sixers?
Yeah. This is a fan friendly league, and cats buy tickets to see the marquee players, and you don't necessarily want to have to look down the schedule and say, hey man, this is a back to back. Is he going to show up? Or you don't want to have to be doing that all the time.
Luka reminds the Timberwolves who's king in the NBA. Luka's trying to win the MVP this year. Thoughts on the new look Timberwolves? They lose to the Magic. I'm not sure. Have they won a game yet? These new look Timberwolves?
I think they're 2-2. I mean, it's a work in progress. I mean, obviously Anthony Edwards is coming out, hungry like the wolf, ferocious off that gold medal winning performance in Paris, but it's going to take a minute for the roster to get used to not having, the tallest 3-point
scrub
man in the history of the NBA. So, yeah.
I mean, how's that guy doing in New York?
I believe they have the same record, so about the same. 4 games in.
What's your thoughts on Clay in Dallas? How's that going to work? Is that going to work?
He's going to bring his incredible resume, but so far it looks like there's a, it's kind of in the past tense. It doesn't seem like present or future tense. So, but it's only 4 games in. So we'll see how that works out.
He averages 19 points for his career. He averaged 19.6, 3.5 rebounds, 2.3 assists. For in these 4 games for the Mavericks, or excuse me, the Dallas Mavericks, he's averages 16.5 3 points off his career average, 3.5 rebounds, exactly the same, and 1.3 assists. One assist off his career average. Does he meet his career average by the end of the season?
No. Not points wise.
So he won't average 19 points a game?
Won't average 20 points a game, no.
Does he get better than 16.5? Does he get 18 to 18 points?
That sounds about right. 16.5.
16.5 to 18?
I mean, 18, I think, is on the higher end of the scale, but yeah, 16.5 sounds a little closer to reality.
Does that position that 16.5? Does that position the Mavericks to get back to the conference championship?
Oh, for sure, because he gives them that 3-point presence once the playoffs start.
You expecting Clay to hold on a long time?
Just give them timely baskets and a threat at the 3-point range, which gives Kyrie and Luka more space.
But you talking about 7 months from now. You think he's still going to be holding up?
That remains to be seen. He's had some major injuries in the past. I mean, that's kind of like asking Kawhi to, play by Christmas.
It's nothing like asking Kawhi to play like Christmas. That's nothing of the sort. Paulo puts up 50 on the Pacers.
50 and 9.
And 59 assists. I think he had 13 rebounds, didn't he? So 50. So 50. He was a point away from a triple double. Is this a corner that we discussed that he's turning that corner this season?
He has gotten into this season so hardcore that, man, Prince of the 206, Rana's only child or oldest child. Hey, man, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't want to say no. I don't know what he did in the off season, but 50 is not easy to do in the league. Man.
No, but he's been putting in work. He's been putting in work. His low post game is still his low post game. I mean, Paulo's he could do everything on the court. He just needed to perfect these skills. Now, do it in crunch time. That's where we're at with Paulo. Because he can shoot a jumper. He can post you up. He can dribble the ball. And now we need to see him do that in high leverage situations. Can he do it in high leverage situations? That's the only thing we have not seen from him. He's on a team. I will say the team is they're willing to give him the reins to the team. He's playing with the guy with a veteran, a champion like KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. How much can Kentavious Caldwell-Pope put into Paolo Banchero for when the playoffs come? Can he get him ready for the playoffs? Because other than that, it's just him getting better on the court and playing basketball. Can Kentavious Caldwell-Pope coach him up enough to when the playoffs do come, he's ready to rise and shine? What do you think about that? And I say KCP because he's the only veteran that he's playing with who's been there.
He can contribute a little bit to the process, but probably not a whole lot because he's not a superstar of that magnitude. So, he can give pointers and suggestions and recant scenarios where he's played with LeBron and Joker and, Porter Jr. and those kind of players, but firsthand experience, he can't give him that. So hopefully when he's giving his speech, he expresses that to him. And these are things that you have to do that I can't help you with, but I'm here to kind of, guide you through the process and tell you how the other iconic superstars that have played the game have responded in certain situations.
But that's what the young player like Paulo needs. And hopefully they're doing that. They've had that discussion this offseason, and they're talking it through early in the season. So by the time April does come around, Paulo's heard it, he has absorbed it, and he's ready to rise and shine. Because again, he's playing with a bunch of young cats who nobody on that team has been there but him. But KCP. So I expect that's why I think that relationship is vitally important. Because they're not gonna rise without Paulo. And as long as KCP is there to,
yeah, but you don't want to hear all those. You don't want to hear all those old war stories. I mean, it's going to be the second round soon enough. If you get past the first round, then now we see what's up, man, and kind of guide them through and be a calming presence in the locker room, and kind of, this is what champions do. Yeah, for sure. But like just in his ear,
we need this. What we need from you. Yeah, this is what we need.
I handle things when I'm in this situation, because you've never been in this situation. So you've never been the number one option. You've never been the franchise player.
Yeah,
so
that's
the conversation. The conversation can go a little ways, but it can't go all the way.
Well, we'll see. We'll see we'll see if this is a sign of he's ready to turn the corner himself, or how that plays out with his teammates. Dalton Connect getting primetime minutes with the Lakers. Were you surprised by this?
No.
Did he move into did he move into JJ's beach house to the mother-in-law?
No, but they have a kindred spirit, and they understand each other very, very well.
Man, I wasn't expecting Dalton to come out. Now we know he can shoot, and that was the one pick of the NBA draft. Where it's like, how can the NBA allow Dalton Connect to fall to the one team that desperately needed 3-point shooting? How could the NBA allow that to happen? I'm not so sure when people were paying attention to what he was able to do.
Teams in front of them all had an opportunity to pick. And
this is what I'm saying. How could they allow the NBA allow this to happen? Everybody knew what he was capable of.
They said he was too old. They said he was slow.
I'm like, what is that? I mean, come on. In this NBA, it's an advantage to be older.
No, it's not. He's 22 years old. It's an advantage to be young.
No, it's an advantage to have
18, 19 when you first start.
So him going to an 18 or 19-year-old Dalton Connect going to the Los Angeles Lakers, who I doubt would have the same impact. Him being going to junior college.
Well, Cameron, you just haven't seen that trend in the NBA. They draft young.
No, what I'm saying is, even if they drafted an 18 or 19-year-old Dalton Connect, I doubt he'd be having that same impact. He's only able to have that same impact because he's playing with veterans. He's a veteran playing with veterans. So it's still beyond me how they let it happen. I wasn't expecting to get these early minutes that I've seen him get, and he's making them. He's cashing in. So good job out of him. Good job out of him. And the Lakers still got blown out by Cavaliers tonight. Rudy Gay announces his retirement, Cleavon, and I want you to tell the fans, how will you remember Rudy Gay?
As a baller, consummate professional, loved his time in Memphis. I mean, obviously when he came out, UConn, a legitimate, top 5 talent or top 5 pick, a legitimate all-star talent. Man, he did it, man, in a lot of different locations. Was always, I guess, again, the consummate professional.
What do you expect from the Knicks now this season? I know you didn't think much of them last season. You didn't think much of Brunson last season. Do these new look New York Knicks get past the second round of the playoffs?
No.
They still don't get past the second round. The Hawks they're gonna miss Bogdan Bogdanovic to miss a month due to hamstring issues, so he's going to be out for a little while. Scotty Barnes suffers an orbital bone fracture. It's crazy. So he's going to be out for a while. Not that either one of those teams were going to be a factor in the Eastern Conference. But the team that is going to be a factor in the Eastern Conference, their coach, Joe Mazzulla, has something interesting to say, Cleavon, and I want to know your thoughts. Oh, nice. 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 My man drives to the hole. Some dude from OKC, I'm not sure who it was, but he drives to the hole. He fakes like he's gonna lay it up, goes up with one leg and just stays there, pauses, holds form, and let the defender fly by and just lays it up so nice and calmly. It was pretty crazy, crazy looking play. Joe Mazzulla, did you hear what his thoughts that the NBA should bring back?
No.
Joe Mazzulla says, like hockey, the NBA should have a power play. So if somebody's gets fouled or somebody commits a foul, they should be able to play the game 5-on-4. He also went ahead to say that the league should bring fighting back. A lot of stuff goes on. It's an emotional game that he says they should be allowed to fight in the NBA. Cleavon, what do you think Adam Silver has to say about that?
Adam Silver would say no. You already know what I think about bringing 80s basketball back. Yeah, I'm all for that. Wow. And if you do something just egregious and flagrant, go to the penalty box for 20 minutes. Now, obviously, you would have to change the aesthetic of it all, how long you're in there for certain, offenses. But oh man. Fighting. Oh, man. Bring the tough guy back. Woo. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that would have to be some roster reconfigurations, right? If they brought fighting back, these guys ain't prepared to fight tomorrow. But you'd have to bring Oakley to Mason.
Mason. Mahorn.
You have to bring back go find you a Ron Artest.
Yeah. A Truck Robinson. Yeah. Go find you somebody to just be a rough shot. Yeah. And protect your superstar talent, right? Because they would be taking much more of a beating if you could just hurt them, right? Or, fight them or be physical.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. That it would never happen, but I thought it would be interesting. Adam Silver's not going for that. Adam Silver probably find him under the wraps.
Yeah, after the Jordan rules, league's never going back.
Cleveland, it's Los Angeles Dodgers 7, New York Yankees 6, middle of the ninth. Who's going to? Is the Yankees going to be able to come back?
Not sure. They were up 5-4 when I left. So the fact that the Dodgers were able to come back is kind of amazing. But the bottom of the ninth, they got big. I don't know who's
where they are in the lineup. I don't know either. I just look at it. Lonzo Ball suffers a sprained wrist to be reevaluated in 10 days. Oh, it kind of sucks for that guy, right? Come back after 3 years of a sprained ankle, and now suffers a wrist injury. Will we see? Obviously, it's not going to happen this season, but will we see Lonzo in the years to come play a full season?
Not a full season. I think he's gonna. It sounds like, or it feels like, he's gonna have like a Sean Livingston type of career. Like maybe like in a year or two, he's gonna get with a team that doesn't need him to be the focal point, and he's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm still 6'5". Yeah, I still know how to run the point, and yeah, I still know how to get players in position and the passes that they want, when they need it, and you kind of be a facilitator. But I think if every time you step on the court, I mean, obviously he's not very old, right? Was he like 25, 26?
Yeah.
So not particularly old. So, I mean, there's still, a runway, an opportunity to kind of reinvent himself, but that's just kind of where I see his career going at this point.
I mean, Sean Livingston, he can only pray to finish off his career with the Sean Livingston storyline, to come back and win some championships and be a key factor in championships. Like, he can only pray for that type of return. We don't know what the best of the guy. I don't want the guy to be injured for the rest of his life, but we'll see what happens. Did you see the Dwayne Wade statue of Cleveland?
Oh boy. Horrific looking.
I mean, what's up with these statue artists, man?
I don't understand why they don't go to the bronze specialist and be like, hey man, or at least, if you're gonna do the statue, man, go to the dude that does the Canton Hall of Fame ones. Those are pretty, close. Or some of the better ones, man. I mean, it seems like sometimes they, farm this stuff out to people that like don't understand what it's supposed to look like. It's like that doesn't look anything like the picture, man. Like nothing.
I mean, I don't get it. I mean, are they trying to go cheap? You think they're trying to go cheap on the statue artist?
I don't think
they're trying to get some local talent.
I think it's like the artistic expression is like a little bit lost on these people. Like it's not just like it's supposed to look like the picture.
Like this guy, yeah. Like when he stood up on the table, scoring tables.
It's not supposed to just look like
oh my goodness.
Close. Yeah, that was terrible.
Come on, man. So
county. Ooh, rough.
So we're a week into the season. Anything caught your eye already? Anything stand out to you?
Anthony Marshawn Davis Jr. balling out like a big dog, man.
Oh, really? What's their record?
3-2. It was 3-1 before, I guess, tonight. I don't know what happened, but okay. The dude's going for like 32-14. I mean, that's not sustainable. I assume he's going to get hurt at some point, but
okay. So you're saying after 3 games, you can't get excited about that right now.
Your question was what stood out, and
yeah,
it's like the experience from Paris and the Olympics and winning the gold medal kind of carried over, and he's been playing kind of, I don't want to say out of his mind, but up to his like highest and best use and fullest potential. So yeah.
The Pacers. I know what you think or don't think about the Pacers, but they pushed the defending champions. They had them down by 24, allowed the champions to come back and tie the game up. I'm not sure if you saw that. They allowed the champions to push them to overtime, and then the Pacers finished them off in overtime. But what's your thoughts on the Pacers pushing the defending champs? Well, getting a win over the defending champs in overtime.
Yeah, no thoughts in the 5th or 6th game of the season.
That just sounds like Pacers hate right there. I mean, I don't know if that's what you intended it to be, but that's sure what it sounds like.
No, not really. Just it's the 5th or 6th game of the season. It's cool. It's at home, right? Was it at Indiana?
It was at Indiana, yes.
Cool. Wow, they won on their home court. That's great.
Pascal Siakam hit a 3 with 8 seconds on the clock to win the
game.
I
don't know how many times that's going to happen, but cool. 5th or 6th game of the season. That's great.
Yeah, so fans, if you guys don't know what the tone of hate sounds like, that's it right there. As Cleveland talking about the Pacers is actually a lot of hate in that voice right there. Fans, before we get into the discuss a World Series, we do this week in history segment each and every week that we do the show, fans, and then it's a chance for just to reflect on some things that happened in the past and kind of bring that to light, just so people don't forget some of the glorious things that happened in this country, Cleveland. So we'll start with another country, oddly enough. Uh, October October 30th, 1997, Argentine soccer star Diego Maradona announces his retirement from football on his 37th birthday. Leave on October 30th, 1974, then California Angel Nolan Ryan throws fastest recorded pitch, 100.9 miles per hour. That's in 1974.
50 years ago.
Yeah. Why are we only seeing, if he did this in 74, 100 miles per hour, like, why aren't we seeing pictures at 105 miles per hour, 106 miles per hour, like consistently?
Well, that is a testament to Nolan Ryan and how difficult that is to do.
Sure.
It's just, it's just physically very difficult to throw 100 miles an hour.
Okay. October 30th, 1954, U.S. Defense Department announces elimination of all racially segregated regiments. 1954. That was a few years before the civil rights movement. So give the United Defensive Department some credit there. I found this interesting. October 30th, 1956, the Dodgers sell Ebbets Field to a real estate group. They agreed to stay until 1959 with the option to stay until 1961. What's your thoughts on that one?
A very interesting land deal, because at the end of the day, they went and bought Chavez Ravine out in Los Angeles and
displaced a lot of
got an incredible deal for it.
They displaced a lot of people to build that Chavez Ravine. Speaking of Chavez Ravine, there will be a celebration there shortly as the Dodgers just clinched their World Series championship by knocking off the New York Yankees. Chavez Ravine. Are you familiar with what the Dodgers did to obtain that land?
I am not familiar with all the politics and all of the behind the scenes things that occurred, other than just it was in. I guess I just hear it kind of just from a business perspective. So just kind of like the amount of land that they were able to get for very little amount of money. And
have you been there? Have you been to Chavez Ravine?
I have never been to the Dodger game. No.
So it's any way you enter Dodger Stadium, you kind of have to go up a hill and then you go down the hill into the bowl. So any way you enter that stadium. But in that bowl was apartments, housing, community. It was a Latino community before the Dodgers came. And the Dodgers said, okay, it's time to go. What's the law called when they, I'm having a brain fart. If the city wants to take over your property, build a freeway, for example, is the most notable example. But if they want to build a store in your neighborhood, and they give you option the city will give you an option to buy your home, buy your land. But if you choose not to, eminent domain is what it's called. If you choose not to sell your land to the city, they're going to say, okay, we're taking it. This is for the betterment of the city, eminent domain. Now you have 30 days to get out. That's essentially what happened what went on for the people who lived at Chavez Ravine, where Dodgers currently play, before they built Dodger Stadium. And so they displaced a whole bunch of people to build that stadium, and then didn't give these people any credit. It didn't give these people any encouragement to get out of their property other than, the eviction notice. So it's really, it's not funny, but it's kind of, I want to say, it's really interesting that how many Latinos are Dodger fans in Southern California when they made them go through that whole mess to build up the stadium. That's really interesting. So that's eminent domain. That's what the Dodgers actually did to obtain that land for their stadium. But it was done now. It was done then, actually. And now they play in one of the greatest ballparks around. I mean, because if you've been there, and I haven't been a Dodger fan for long, but I tell you what, the first time I haven't been a baseball, I'm not really a baseball fan. If you guys haven't noticed that.
Oh yeah, no. The fans saw how grandiose he went through all of Dodger Stadium, showing out every replica, Gold Glove, icon.
Hey, Cleveland, you can make fun of it all you want. You going through that hallway where the Dodgers have all the Gold Gloves on one side of it, and then all the silver bats on the other side of it, like that's monumental. That's monumental right there. And it's just, that's just the bowels of Dodger Stadium is just so cool. It's because of the history there. But that's that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope, and that'll make you a fan real quick.
Yeah, and I think Shohei did put down money on the money line for the Dodgers to win this series, so even more so.
You know what? Get your jokes off. Now just call him a champion. Call you from now on. When you say Shohei Ohtani, you call him champion, World Series champion Shohei Ohtani. That's what you do from now on. You hear me? World Series champion. Okay, that's what you have to call him. Just missed a fly ball like that?
Sure did. It was horrible.
You saw that?
Yeah, it was in the first inning.
The Yankees out here giving it up.
Yeah.
Oh, the Yankees out here trying to give it up. What Mookie did? Mookie get a home run tonight?
It was 5-4 Yankees when I left.
The Yankees weren't ready for that. They weren't ready tonight. Did he hit on another home run? I didn't watch the game, fan, so I'm just asking Cleveland because we're going to get to it. We're going to break down. I want to hear Cleveland's breakdown of this World Series. But the Freddie Freeman, what a run he's on, huh?
For sure.
I was wondering if he got a home run tonight. So far, not so much. But who gets a home run and get him in the game? Or just another error by the Dodgers? Another error by the Dodgers. I don't know if that's an error, but your guy Judge didn't catch the ball when it went right into center field. Where was I? Cleveland, October 30th, 1873, P.T. Barnum Circus. What did they call the circus?
Barnum and Bailey Circus.
No, greatest show on earth. Oh. Debuts in New York City, 1873. 10/30, 1999, BET Holdings Incorporated becomes the first African-American company listed on the New York Stock Exchange. October 30th, 1945, Cleveland. Branch Rickey signs who to a contract with the Montreal Orioles as a top minor leaguer affiliate of the Brooklyn Dodgers?
That would be Jackie Robinson.
October 30th, 2016, the Oakland Raiders broke the single game record for most penalties in an NFL game. 10/30, 1974, Cleveland. This is a fight you probably wouldn't have seen. I mean, because you don't want to be bothered with boxing. 50th anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle.
Well, I've actually seen that fight many times, Cameron.
I mean, but yeah.
Watching
a rerun or something.
At least 100 times in my life.
But I mean, probably on rerun. I mean,
I was not. I was not there in '74 live. Is that was your question? I wasn't in Zaire, so sorry.
October 30th, 2023, according to Forbes, former Hall of Fame basketball player Magic Johnson is the fourth athlete to become a billionaire. Who are the other athletes?
To be billionaires?
Yeah. According to Forbes.
Michael Jordan's a billionaire.
Of course.
Ronaldo's a billionaire.
Okay, maybe they're referring to American athlete. Let's say that.
Oh, okay. So Jordan, billionaire athletes in America?
Yeah, I thought this was easy. Easy question. I thought this was an easy answer. Your guy. You're 1 for 3 right now.
$1 billion. Is LeBron James a $1 billion athlete?
According to Forbes, LeBron James is a $1 billion athlete.
Okay. So there's 2. So one more $1 billion athlete.
You're overthinking this. Second World Series and title in 5 seasons. Okay. You're overthinking this. Tiger Woods is the last guy.
Oh, Tiger Woods. He's $1 billion? Wow.
Tiger Woods, y'all. Cleavon, what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on this college football playoffs? What you think? What's your thoughts on it right now?
So sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. It's become a lot more interesting because a lot of the top tier teams are not doing as well as they thought, and now it's kind of got into that thing where the whole point of expanding it is so that you didn't have to do all of this decision making and math, but now all the teams at the top are not as good as they were anticipating, so you still have to do that. Just at a lower level with more teams. So I don't see a clear-cut definitive favorite to win the national championship. All the teams are flawed.
Miami Hurricanes.
No, they're flawed. So there is no clear-cut favorite. The SEC is not as dominant as they were originally anticipating, and neither is the Big Ten. So what does that say?
You're gonna have an ACT. You're gonna have an ACC team on a bye. You're gonna have a SEC team on a bye. You have a is it a Pac-12? Or are you still calling them a Pac-12? Or you the Big Ten team? So your friends down there in Oregon, the Oregon Ducks are
Big Ten.
Are the Big Ten, and the BYU. Who are they with? Who are they? They're not a Big Ten team, are they?
No, BYU was like Mountain West or
okay.
Still have the WAC? I don't think the WAC.
They look like they're on a bye right now. Who is the dark horse in the college football playoffs at this moment? You got outside the team, Georgia, Miami.
The 2 dark horses that I would say on the high end would be Ohio State. On the low end would be Texas A&M.
Okay. Well, we'll see how things shake out. Them Ohio State Buckeyes are gonna have to play the Miami Dolphins in the Peach Bowl. Or the Miami Hurricanes in the Peach Bowl. So after they play Clemson, I'm not sure that's. I mean, just looking at the bracket right now, the way it stands.
Oh, gotcha.
What do you think about Michigan State? Excuse me, Michigan quarterback retiring from football?
You know, why is this? You gotta listen to your body, you gotta listen to your heart and your conscience. I mean, sometimes, people are very quick to kind of speak for other people and don't understand the stresses and the rigors that it takes to kind of come back from certain things or kind of endure certain things. And kudos to him for just being true to himself about it.
Well, yeah, kudos to him. Cleveland, my next thought was going into Freddie Freeman hitting a home run in 6 straight World Series games. I wanted to know, I wrote this up obviously before the game, but would you pitch to him? Would you have pitched to him tonight, knowing he's had a home run in 6 straight World Series games?
Yeah, they had Garrett Cole going tonight. Garrett Cole's Cy Young winner last year, pitched to him.
So that's a yes.
Yeah, the last guy that didn't pitch to Cam, and maybe you don't remember his name, it was Barry Bonds. They've been pitching to people ever since then.
I've never seen him play. I've never seen him play.
Unfortunate for you.
No, not really.
Greatest baseball player ever. So,
so you bring him up. You bring him up when he was on the year he was on his home run chase. I don't know if I ever told you this. The year he was on his home run assaults, he ended up breaking the record. So I had, I had bought these book of tickets. And these book of tickets allowed me, like it was buy 1, get 1 free to a Dodgers game. Buy 6, get 6 free to a Dodgers game. It was buy 2, get 1 free to a Dodgers game. I had the book of tickets, so I had all these tickets already bought, if you will. I think I paid like $50 for this little sheet of tickets. So I realized I hadn't used these all season long. So here it is, March. No, so what it was end of the season. When is end of the season? It's October. So August, I realized I hadn't been to the park all year long. So Barry Bonds is coming to town. Okay, let me invite a bunch of buddies out there. Let's go to watch Barry Bonds. See if we can see. We were behind third base, so we weren't going to catch a home run. But let's go to the game and at least see history, right? So I don't know what I was thinking, Cleveland. So there's like 12 of us at this game. And it's about the third inning. I decide, I need something to drink. I need something from the concession stand. I go to the concession stand. I don't know what the heck I was thinking about. The only reason I was there to see Barry Bonds hit a home run. I didn't even know Barry Bonds was coming up to bat. I go and I recognize Barry Bonds is coming to bat as I'm standing in line at the concession stand. So in line at the concession stand, second in line. You hear and then all the fans go crazy. And then I see Barry around in the bases. I'm watching it at the damn concession stand. He ended up hitting like 3 home runs that series. But the first one, I'm sitting in the concession stand. The only reason I'm at the stadium is to see Barry Bonds hit a home run, and I'm at the damn concession stand. I was like, it felt like a waste. Fortunately, I did see him later on hit a home run at the Dodger Stadium, but it just felt like a waste that I'm at the concession stand and Barry hitting a home run.
You want to hear an even funnier story than that? So this is when like interleague play kind of got going. This was the season that he broke the home run record, right? And so me and all the homies, like they all know that like Barry's my guy, right? So like, okay, we're gonna go to the San Francisco game. Cleveland, we're going, man. We got these tickets, man. I'm like, okay. And usually I'm like, fairly like indifferent about when we get to the game. Like, we get there when we get there. Oh, we park, we talk, we drink, whatever.
You went to AT&T Field or whatever?
No. So they came with Safeco.
Okay.
Like this is like when interleague was like kind of just like first getting like big and popular again.
Sure.
And this time I was like adamant, no. We gotta be there like when the game starts. Because like the opposing team his first up at bat, right? And
yeah, he's 3.
That's third, right? And so I was just like, just being an asshole about like, just like, we're leaving at 5 o'clock. We're here like 6:30. Like, gonna be there seats by like 7. Like all of this, right? So he comes up, and we have these seats like kind of like right behind the home plate. And he comes up in the first inning and just turns on this 2-1 pitch and knocks it out like his 40th home run, like en route to like hitting 73. And I remember just looking up like, wow, that's what it looks like to watch like Barry Bonds like hit a home run in person, right? All my friends turn and go like, "You're ready to leave now, huh?" I was like, what?
Yeah, shit, we here now.
I mean, yeah, I came here to see Barry Bonds hit a home run. He hit a home run. What are the chances of hitting 2? Like, not very good. They're like, we're out.
Barry's a little dude, though, man. I was surprised. Barry, I seen him, after he retired.
Yeah.
And I mean, that
He's like
flaxseed
150, 160 pounds now? Maybe?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he wasn't 180. He wasn't 180. I mean, but he was a short guy. I thought Barry, I thought you needed power to be a home run hitter. Oh, but that was all that flaxseed oil had wore off, I guess.
It just hand-eye coordination and certain training. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I was surprised though. I was surprised when I bumped into him. Like, he was a little guy. Like, I was that surprised me of anything else other than, and his head wasn't that big. It looked on TV. It looked like he had that big ass head. When he was taking that flaxseed oil, but he was a small guy. I was kind of taken back from by that.
Yeah, it was hilarious how content I was. Like, we were out there.
Did you leave?
Yeah, we left. We were there like 20 minutes. Like, we literally all of this prep to go see, Barry do his thing, and after he did it, like, oh,
enough, huh? Yeah. Cooper Flagg signs a deal with the Gatorade, joining Paige Becker and Juju Watkins. A little premature, or what do you think of Cooper Flagg?
No. All the hype. Carry it in.
So again, I wrote these questions kind of going before the final World Series game was played. Was the bigger story Ohtani or Judge, like, underperforming?
Judge. Yeah.
Because why you say that? Why you say that so easy?
I thought because he underperformed quite a bit more than Shohei, and depending on how you look at it, I thought Shohei
in the playoffs you're talking about, in the playoffs or just the World Series?
I thought Shohei did more to carry his team to the World Series than Judge did. And then in the World Series, I thought that Judge underperformed more than Shohei did.
Okay. So, well, Shohei got hurt. That kind of impacted him as well. But the Dodgers tonight win the World Series. They come back on the Yankees. The biggest comeback to win the World Series, 5 runs. They're the biggest comeback ever. So kudos to the Dodgers. Shout out to the Dodgers for winning the World Series. Giving them a round of applause. And from here on out, Cleveland now has to refer to Shohei Ohtani as World Series champion Shohei Ohtani before he starts trying to disparage the guy. Just remember, you had the World Series champion when you talk about him betting on, having a parlay on tonight's game or whatever. You make sure you add in World Series champion. So let's give it a practice. Let's hear you say World Series champion Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani, World Series champion, National League and American League most valuable player.
There we go. Let me give him a round of applause on that one. I know that hurt his heart. I know it hurt his heart, fans. I know it hurt his heart. So we're going to give him another round of applause for saying that. Let's talk about this fan interference. fan interference. So it happened twice. It happens on the West Coast and the East Coast, right? It happened twice. And so I want to say, Cleveland, I want to say the fan in LA should not have been kicked out of the game. The fan in Los Angeles, Cleveland, he catches the ball that comes right to him. The ball, it comes right to him. He reaches out and grabs the ball. That's it. He has a glove. If you're in the outfield, you know a ball's probably going to come your way. At some point during the 9 innings, there's a ball that's probably coming your way. That's why they are allowed to bring the glove into the stadium, right? I mean, you can't if to an NFL game, you can wear the receiver's glove, but it really ain't gonna do you no good, right? In baseball, you're allowed to bring the mitt of similar to what the players are using on the field of play. You're allowed to bring that because you can catch the ball that comes right to you. Why is this fan ejected, Cleveland? Why is it? Can you see the picture? Do I need to highlight it for you a little bit more? The ball, it comes right. He's still sitting down. He reaches out and catches the ball.
Do you see how much worse that makes the play, Cameron? He's in the field of play. Baseball is the only sport.
Row. He's in the front row.
Cameron, you can see his hand is over the mark. Baseball is the only sport that you can have fan interference. You cannot interfere with a football play.
What's your point?
You cannot interfere with a basketball play. You can't interfere with a hockey play. You can't interfere with a soccer play. This is the only sport that you can interfere with the game.
He should not be he should not have been. This fan should not have been ejected.
Look at he's over the fucking fence.
He's not falling off. He's not. You know, his buddy is
why is the fan trying to be involved in the game?
The ball came right to him.
I completely, totally disagree with you to the core of my existence about fan interference. You're there to watch the game. You're not there to interfere with the game.
He's the ball.
I cannot entertain any of your talk, man. Why are you interfering with the game?
Is the ball not within arm reach of him? Did he jump down? Did he fall on the field? Was he was his buddy grabbing him by the leg so he can catch the ball?
The fence into the field of play. Why are you reaching over the fence into the field of play? You're not playing the game. You're watching the game from your seat.
Ball come right to him.
No. Absolutely not. This is nonsensical what we're even talking about.
That guy should not have been ejected.
Absolutely should have been.
No, he shouldn't have been. For what?
Because he's reaching over the field.
Why do you let him bring a mitt into the stadium? Why do you let the guy bring a mitt into the stadium?
To catch fly balls that are out of the field of play.
That was close enough. That was close enough.
Well, I completely 100%, 177% disagree with you.
Now these two knuckleheads, 100% different story. You see Betts, you can see the picture, right? You see Betts is out there to catch the ball, right? You see Betts is extended, eye contact, focus.
By the way, the other play, that person didn't get a home run because it was fan interference and only got a double. So you're actually influencing the outcome of the game by being a fan and a spectator.
Well, so let's go back to that. Let's go back to that, Cleveland. Let's go back to this. So had he not caught the ball, right? The ball bounces off the wall. It's a ground rule double, correct?
You don't know where the ball was going to bounce because that person put his hands.
Come on, cut it out. The ball. You can look and see where the ball was
You
what was
do
going
not know where that ball was going to bounce.
Cleveland. That wasn't over the wall. To your point,
It was going over the wall, and you don't know where the ball was going to bounce.
What'd you say?
So it was headed towards over the wall, and you don't know where that ball was going to bounce.
Cleveland.
And what happens if it bounces off the wall instead of a double? It's a triple. Why is that fan getting involved in the outcome of the game of a World Series?
You already said, Cleveland, settle down, slow down, buddy. You already established that the fan reached into to field of play. You already said that. So you can look and see that the ball trajectory is going to hit the wall. It's going to hit the wall. It's going to be a ground rule double. It's not a home run. I will agree with you at that point. He's not sitting down. His back is not in the seat.
We don't know that. We're speculating on what would have happened had the fan not reached out.
Let you see the trajectory of the ball. The ball is not going in the second row. He reaches over the wall to catch the ball that would have hit the wall. It would have been a ground rule double.
At the top of the wall, we don't know what's going to happen. And the reason we don't know what was going to happen is because the fan interfered with the baseball.
Okay. Your point has been made. Have some vision. Visualize with the play actually transpiring. And you could see that this ball was going to hit the wall. And it was going to be a ground rule double. You can see that clear as day. I don't know what the argument is here. Nonetheless, he catches the ball. I don't think he should have been ejected. He was ejected. I don't think he should have been ejected. These two goons, numbskulls. This dude here. Okay, let me go. What is up with this damn sliding glove that these players are wearing today? I don't know why the heck he has one on, but these gloves. Did you see this? Do you see this sliding glove that players are wearing today?
Yeah, wrist and thumb injuries.
Come on,
ransom.
Are you kidding me? You're gonna put a fucking hot oven glove on to prevent you from getting your finger stuck on the base? Come on, man. And then why did the fan have one? What are you doing? Where do you think you're going with the sliding glove on? Like that? Okay, enough of that. But this dude here, can you see where my cursor is?
Yeah.
This dude looks scared of the ball. He looks like he was trying to. He thought the ball might come hit him. Do I have that right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like he wasn't hands out like this trying to catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? What is this he's doing? I don't know what this guy's doing. Nonetheless, Mookie Betts make a heck of a catch. Heck of a catch. And luckily for Mookie Betts, this wall is only 6 feet tall? I mean, it might be less than that. It might be 5'9" tall, this wall. Because on this next play, go ahead, Cleveland. Go ahead.
The dude on the right is holding Mookie Betts' right wrist, and the dude on the left is trying to pry a souvenir out of his hand in front of hundreds of millions of people. So, yeah, I don't know.
What do you think? He gonna try to go sell the ball on eBay or something? What the heck?
No one is watching him do this. Like,
what is this?
You see the guy on the right laughing about it, and you see Mookie Betts like, let go of my hand.
No, but okay, this guy should have been ejected and never allowed to go to Yankee Stadium again. Why are you grabbing him? Like the fan interference, the guy in LA, at least he just reached out and caught the ball. He didn't try to grab a player. Like this here is equivalent of you sitting on a court side and you trip LeBron James going up court. Yeah. You trip him on purpose. Like this is equivalent to that. Like what the heck are you thinking about? Like you grabbing the guy, the goofball in the road jersey is literally. Was he trying to take Mookie Betts' glove? Was he trying to take the glove off of Mookie Betts?
Glove and ball, yeah.
He's trying to take the glove and the ball from Mookie Betts.
I mean, I think primarily the ball, but the glove would be a nice souvenir as well. But I mean, yeah.
Do you think they're going to let you keep the glove? They're jackass. Do you think that after you do this in front of how many people watch the World Series, Cleveland?
Hundreds of millions.
Do you think you're going to be able to keep the glove? You don't think this replay is being shown all over the world, and especially in Yankee Stadium? You think you're going to walk out of the stadium with Mookie Betts' glove and the ball? Come on, man. And the dude, your buddy grabbing him, like the guy grabbing him is worse than the dude trying to steal Mookie Betts' glove.
And both of them think that this is funny in the middle of a World Series.
Dude said this. We talked about this. We D up in New York. And you, Cleveland, you think, oh no, everybody should just stay away from the field, even though you're sitting there, the ball come right to you. Cleveland, this could happen in Cleveland. This could happen at Safeco Field. This could happen at what's the park in Marlins Park in Miami? This could happen at any baseball field in America.
That's not what I said. What I said is baseball is the only sport where you can have fan interference.
These goons. I mean, I don't know what to. I don't even know what more to say. Like, these goons should be literally. This is equivalent to tripping Paulo Banchero running as he's running back on the court after hitting.
Doing that Grayson Allen stuff. But at least Grayson Allen, when he does it, he's actually one of the players on the court.
I'm just saying this is equivalent of. This is what this is. These goofball. I just want to know. I'd like to ask this dude, where did you think you were going with Mookie Betts' glove and the ball? Where did you think you were going? Were you going to hawk that at an auction somewhere? Where did you think was going to happen?
Not 100% sure, but that's because you can have fan interference in a baseball game. It's the only reason we're having this conversation.
So, okay. So do you think Cleveland, Mr. Dissing the fans, since you don't even like the fans now of baseball?
No, I love baseball fans. I don't love baseball fans interfering with the outcome of a game because they want to be involved for some reason.
If I'm at the stadium and I got in the front row and the ball's coming at me, I'm catching the damn ball.
Bro.
I'm catching the damn ball. If I'm sitting next to you and we at the damn stadium and we in the outfield, Cleveland, I'm catching the ball. You can turn your back, you can cover your head, act like you're not with me. I'm catching the damn ball. Period.
Okay. Well, I mean, dive on out there then. Anytime the ball
I didn't say I'm diving nowhere. I didn't say I'm jumping out of the stands.
Anytime the ball comes close to you, just dive out there and just, it's between me and Ichiro, man. It's got to be me. Sure. I got this much right to the ball as Ichiro, right?
That's right.
Okay.
It's coming my way. Now, if you jump up and snatch it from me.
And see, that's wrong. Because you're just a fan. You're not actually participating in the sport. In the outcome.
But this is the one sport that I can have that invites fan participation.
The only sport where
they
experience is even a thing.
They want fan participation. So if they didn't want fan participation, they put a net up.
They do put a net up because the fans don't want to get hit with screaming foul balls to their face. But when the ball's coming out of, in a World Series game, they want to be able to reach out onto the field because geographically they have access to part of the field because their arm can stretch out that far. Why are you? If
it's arm reach, Cleveland, it's not that far. This is what you're feeling to understand.
Wow. Okay. So it should be what, a 5-foot radius coming off of all of
put a net up. If you don't want fans participating in the game, put a net up.
I'm disappointed with you, bro, but that's fine.
I don't know why you're disappointed with me. I'm just saying.
Because you think that fans should be able to be involved in the
I
outcome.
think that guy in LA, nobody should have said anything to him. He caught the ball.
There's absolutely no way a spectator should be able to be involved in the outcome of a professional sport.
So you have to put up a net then. If you don't want that happening down, this is what, down the right field line.
Why do you have to do that? Because fans are just so unruly.
Because it's gonna happen. If the ball's coming, to me,
what's happened like 3 times in 25 years.
You're the only person, Cleveland, that would say right now, if the ball's coming to you, you're gonna sit there, Humpty hum. I don't have anything to do.
No,
with it.
I'm not doing the Bartman reaching out into the middle of the field trying to catch a kind of.
You're not reaching out into the middle of the field. It's coming to you. It's an arm reach.
It's in the field of play, which is why it's fan interference to begin with. What do you? I'm no longer going to entertain this conversation with you. Fan interference is not a fair thing, and it's the only sport you can do it in, and it's not right.
I think you're the only one in America who says right now, before whatever happened, I would not reach out and catch the ball.
No.
That's it. These guys are way out of line. These guys here in New York, they're way out of line. They're touching the player.
In LA was way out of line. Why are you reaching into the middle of the field to grab a ball?
He's not Inspector Gadget. The ball came to him. He stuck his hand out and caught the ball. Period. He stuck his hand out and caught the ball.
Out into the field of play to catch a baseball in the middle of a game.
Move the seats back. Put the wall up higher.
All right.
I mean, put up a net. If you don't want fans to be involved with the game, put a net.
I guess if fans can't be any better than that, then yeah, move them back like 5-10 feet, so they're no longer involved. Yeah, put like a radius around so that they're no longer involved in the play.
Yeah, that's the only solution I see. Because I would have ventured a bet.
Because fans, you give it to their own devices, can't do that on their own.
Can't do what?
Not interject themselves into
because if the ball's coming to you, if the ball at a Major League Baseball game is coming right to you, most fans are going to stick out in their hand and catch the damn ball. You're the only person, Cleveland, that says, no, I will not catch the ball. I'm not going to disrupt the integrity of the game. Nobody's talking that.
No, I'm not jumping out into the middle of the field. As far as
in the middle of the field, Cleveland, the fan literally reached out from his chair and caught the ball. That's not the middle of the field.
Okay, look. In the first example, the person extended out onto the field. In the second example, the player was going into the stands and they grabbed his wrist and his in the hand that he caught the ball with.
I would say they should have been beaten, but they're in New York and then nothing's gonna happen to them. Like they were way out of line. The fan who's sitting there in center field, sitting down there, the ball's hit them. Oh shit! Man, here's my glove. I got the glove for a reason. Let me catch the ball. That's not a problem. But those guys from New York should have been.
Because it's not coming to you. It's still a field of play. Wait till it comes to you.
It came to him.
No, it didn't.
That's why he's able to stick his hand out and catch the ball because it came right to him.
You saw his glove reach over the fence.
Yeah, put a net up. But these goofballs, I just can't get over what these goons did in New York. I just can't get over it. One dude is trying to steal the Mookie Betts' glove and ball, and the other guy is grabbing on Mookie Betts. Like, what are you doing, dog? You can't touch the player, period. You can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say enough about these goofballs. It's scary. I'm concerned about you now, Cleveland. That you would sit there so eager and honest. So sound like you might get hit. There was a good reason they put the nets up, because if you're down the third base line or first base line, you might get hit in the head with the ball because you're not paying attention. Is that what you're telling me?
No, absolutely not, because I would be 10, 15 rows back, and it's not affecting the the field of play.
No, they put the net up because that screaming foul ball coming down the third or first base line.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. But what I'm saying is like, yeah, if somebody's leaning into the crowd, yeah, I'm not trying to fight with the player for the ball.
No, I'm not trying to fight with him either. I wouldn't if.
Oh, you just said you would.
No. I said I'm reaching out to catch the ball. That's what I said. I'm not fighting with nobody. I'm not touching the player at all. What if the ball comes and all I have to do is do this? Boom, catch the ball. That's it.
Right. So if you're standing in front of the player's reaching back to try and catch a foul ball in the stands, and you're in front of him, you're going to circumvent him and try and catch the foul ball.
I might have already caught the ball.
Okay.
I might have already caught the ball.
So yeah, it's fan interference. Why are you interfering with the game? Because you paid some money to come and watch the game?
Absolutely.
So now it makes you
in this scenario
participant and involved in the game that you came to watch.
Yeah, in this scenario, I might already got the ball.
Thank goodness, Cameron. Baseball is the only sport that you're allowed to interfere as a fan.
I mean, you see the fan here. I don't.
Every other sport, you get beat to a pulp if you try and run onto the field and do anything.
Yeah, nobody said nothing about run onto the field, but you can see that this clown.
When they dive into the crowd to save a ball, are the fans trying to touch the ball?
What was the question?
In basketball, like how like the ball goes like into the stands, right? And a player tries to go into the stands and grab the ball. Do the fans like try and grab the ball so they can't have the ball?
So they can keep it from them?
Then keep it from them?
Yeah.
Never seen that happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
You want to know why? Because you can't keep the ball. You have to give the ball back.
Yeah. Just like soccer, similar to soccer.
Yeah.
The ball goes into soccer. They throw the ball back.
That's why baseball is the only sport where you have fan interference.
But if you see this picture here, this dude, Mookie Betts, had that been me in the crowd, Mookie Betts would have been a little late because I just don't know what this one guy is doing. Like one hand, like what are you doing? Are you trying to catch the ball like with this Yankee jersey and the Riley cap? Like what the heck are you doing?
He's trying to be involved in the out.
He looks like he's scared of the ball. That's what it looks like, especially if you saw it from a different angle. But once Mookie Betts catches the ball, like all bets are off. The play's over. But these two clowns, like, yeah, these two clowns should have been arrested. They should have been arrested. Those two guys. One for touching a player, and two for the guy trying to steal the ball or glove or glove, whichever one. These two guys should have been arrested. These numbskulls. Nonetheless, the Dodgers won their second World Series in 5 years. Kudos to the Dodgers. Can the Dodgers and Shohei repeat?
It's far too early to tell.
I mean, you predicted that they would be Yankees Dodgers at the beginning of the season. Will the Mariners make the playoffs next season?
Too early to tell.
Where are you, Boots? You had Braves and the Orioles. Did the Braves make the playoffs? They both made the playoffs, didn't they?
They both did.
Boots, where you at, Boots? So good call on that one. We'll see what happens with the Mariners next season. Give them some time to kind of come together, and the Mariners can only hope for fan interference because they can only hope to have fans in the building next time they play down there at the Metro Stadium. Fans, I want to thank you dearly for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. We took a week off, but we're back in action now, so we'll be here every week. Thank you guys for chiming in. Let's give Cleveland a round of applause. Because he is now forced. He's now, since he don't want to apologize for all the shots he was taking at Shohei at the beginning of the season, he's now forced to call Shohei Ohtani a World Series champion. an MVP in the American League and National League. Go ahead, Cleveland. Let the fans hear you. Go ahead and espouse your virtues on Shohei Ohtani.
Cam, I'm just thinking right now. Thank goodness I don't have to say that about Brock Purdy.
Speaking of Brock Purdy, I sent you a trade proposal earlier this week. I mean, I see you also went out, picked up another quarterback. So you really don't need Brock Purdy.
Now you asked for Jared Goff. You didn't ask for Brock.
Oh, that's right. I did want Jared Goff.
Yeah, you didn't want Brock. Oh, look at him.
I did.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You didn't want Brock. He was out there. You would have said Brock, yeah, done deal. But you wanted Jared Goff.
You wasn't giving up Brock Purdy.
Oh man, you didn't ask.
You wasn't giving up Brock.
You didn't ask.
I'm gonna send you a trade request tonight for Brock Purdy. I'm gonna say I don't know what you're doing with Brock Purdy because you don't trust him. I don't. You trust him? You don't trust him. You talk bad about him every Monday.
Yeah.
You talk bad about him every Monday.
They all think Christian's getting healthy. So you know what? We'll have to look at my roster and see how I feel about it.
See how he does.
You didn't want it. You didn't want it. Talk all this greatness about Brock Purdy, but when it came down to it, you didn't even want it.
Oh, this guy.
You wanted Jerry.
Yeah. Why didn't you give up Golf?
Why didn't you want Brock?
Because I knew you weren't going to give him to me. Number one, it's not that I didn't want him. I know you weren't.
So you're trying to read into my emotions.
I know you didn't. I know you don't want me to have him. Because boy, if I win the league with Brock Purdy at quarterback, you won't hear the end of it.
Why didn't you start with Brock and then defer back to Jerry? You didn't even go that route. Yeah, you've been exposed, homie. Yeah, fake fans.
You hear this guy? You
hear this? When it came down to it, when it came down to the actual fantasy numbers, he didn't want Brock.
Well, I was going for what you call it in first. All right, one more image, fans, before the night's over. I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna turn this over to you guys here in a moment, but just one more image here before the night's over. Just one more image. Fans, injuries can impact a fantasy football season, fans, unlike any other. But there you see. 5-3, sure enough, is right there in the mix. Right there in the mix. Okay, I don't do a lot of maneuvering and machinations as you guys see the rest of the league does. I keep it pretty steady.
And
however,
fans,
I suffer some injuries.
Number one team has less moves than
nobody's seen that. Nobody's seen that.
Yeah.
So just let me recant the injuries that's been suffered on Show Enough team this year. Like I thought we were working out and training pretty hard this season. But Aaron Jones went down for a minute. Nick Chubb obviously started the season.
If you're
Rome Odunze hasn't turned the corner yet.
Through your fantasy football roster and point out all the injuries, nobody wants to hear all of that, man. That's part of the game.
Now injuries are part of the game now.
That's the next man up. But nobody cares.
Fans, and then you see, I'm still at 5-3.
Nobody cares
right there.
Endured through the fantasy football season. Look at my team. Look at everybody's team. Look at the NFL as a whole. Injuries galore.
Let's look at young Sam and this mismanaged. Oh, now all of a sudden he's starting Jared Goff now. He saw I tried to make a move for him. Now he want to start.
Evans in there because Mike Evans is hurt. You see, DK Metcalf was on the bench because he's hurt. Everybody deals with injuries. You see, George Kittle in and out of the lineup with injuries. Everybody's hurt. Everybody hurts sometimes. Cam,
you got 3 quarterbacks on your team.
I do.
What you want for Caleb?
What you offering?
Man, I'll put something together and see if I can get Caleb.
Okay.
Since you don't, I know you don't want to give him up, but I'm gonna have to put something together for Caleb.
Okay, well, you know it's gonna take a lot to get him there. So there you have it.
Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. As I mentioned, we are back, fans, back in action. We do our numbers game at the beginning of the show. We have our This Week in History segment toward the middle of the show after our NBA conversation. But then I want to end the show with a quote, fans, a quote that would help motivate you guys. My purpose is for this quote to help motivate you guys, give you guys some encouragement to finish the week strong. And this is the quote I chose for this week. There is no greater agony than bearing an old, untold story inside of you or living the life you want to live. That's their favorite poet, Miss Maya Angelou. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you or living the life you want to live. Miss Maya Angelou. Fans, so go out there and live the life you want to live, most importantly. And share those stories that you have inside of you that you want to share. That's one reason we do the podcast here, so we can get this stuff off our chest. So you can hear me vent about the Miami Dolphins and their piss poor coaching. Or Mark McDonald, the Seahawks coach, when one of their last 4 games. I mean, I'm not sure that's so impressive, but Cleveland still is confident in that new regime and turning it around. It'll be interesting to see. But that's the quote I have for you guys. There's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you or living the life you want to live. So I wish you guys all the best and the success to live the life you want to live. If you don't want to tell those stories, that's Miss Maya Angelou. Cleveland, want to thank you. Let the people know where they can find you.
At Clevie Wonder on Instagram and TikTok. Sorry. At Clevie Wonder on TikTok and Twitter. Cleavon Steele on Instagram.
Fans, be sure to rate, review our show. We appreciate you guys for tuning in each and every week. And lastly, I want to say thank you, fans, for making your voice. Excuse me. Fans, I want to thank you lastly for thanking you for making our voice your choice. Once again, please rate and review our show. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the podcast. And as we bid you adieu tonight, I want to say lastly again, thank you for making our voice your choice. Have a good one.